Hey, this is Chase Sexton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
Racing. What to do after an off week from pro racing? No Supercross, no motocross, no GNCC. There was an MXGP, but I regress. I guess we'll do a show. Maybe let's do a show. What are you shaking your head at? You're muted still because you're not. It's not time. I haven't introduced you yet. Well, I haven't introduced you yet, but you're shaking your head.
You asked him a question
because he's shaking his head
so
like something's wrong.
Well, I'll regress then.
I'll regress.
It's digress.
I'll also I'll regress means go backwards. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm going backwards.
We're going to regress.
I'm starting over. I'm going to regress and start over. Hey, you know what?
Stop acting like an idiot.
That's me. Anyway, this is the Vital MX MotoXpod show presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. We got some really good guest lineup. We are doing a show tonight. Clearly, if you're live right now, unlike some other shows that maybe didn't do a show last night, forget I said this in a couple of weeks when we don't do a show, but for tonight, we're doing a show and some other people didn't. What the hell are you doing? Damn it. What a shit show. Tonight, we have 6-time Supercross and Motocross champion Jeff Stanton and a rider who is second in the GNCC XC3 class, 125 Pro-Am class, Dakoda Devore. He's going to be on. So we're going to have an off-road guy that's really, he's crushing it, has basically zero factory support, kind of doing it all on his own with some local help. So really excited about talking to him. We've never had Jeff Stanton on, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Before we get to the guest, which will be a lot of fun, in studio, as always, Sky Thompson, working the cameras, YouTube, etc. What's up?
What's happening, dude?
What? Did he just say do?
What's happening, dude? Like, yeah. I've been eating a lot of Cajun food lately. I think it just came out.
Okay. We had some Cajun food today.
Yeah, I had some gumbo last night.
In studio, first time, I don't, does anybody even remember this guy?
Who is this guy?
Some random guy named TJ is in studio once again. What's up, TJ?
What's going on, guys?
Good to have you back finally.
Just this week and then back to work it goes. But then you're leaving. This I mean,
yeah, but I'll still do a show when I'm out of town. You just disappear.
Well, I guess I could bring this stuff with me and you can just come to the rig.
I'm out.
All right.
I'm out. Well, it's good to have you back. We're going to start off, as always, with the Racetech Open discussion. And Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company. They have over 35 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. Racetech Gold Valves provide a plush feel with drastically improved bottoming resistance and increased traction. And all Racetech products are 100% guaranteed and made in the USA. You guys know Racetech is used by many of the top privateers in the sport. Go check out racetech.com. Tons and tons of information on there for you. If you're setting your sag, if you're trying to figure out what spring rate you need, it's all right there. Find out where your local service center is through racetech.com. Go see your local tech if you need some help to get your suspension service. They will be there for you. Let's start off. I think we did this last week too, but I want to start the show off with just we all got to ride this weekend. Right? It's kind of why we started the shows, because we all love to ride. Scotty and I went and raced at Athens MX Park in Athens, Texas, and then we rode at 6 Feet Under on Sunday. You went to a couple places, TJ, so let's just tell us where you went this weekend and kind of how your riding was. And so as always,
we have a new track in our area, relatively new, called Boneyard. And if you're in
I went to Boneyard this weekend.
Oh, dude.
Wah. This is like we're starting after dark. We are just this show. Everybody in the chat, live chat, saying loose program. We're definitely loose program this week.
Yeah, man. We're leaving for California in the morning, and we're gonna get the show done. I got to pack up, so yeah, it's a loose program tonight.
But the guy at Boneyard, it's a very, very, very well designed big backyard track. We'll call it that. It was a lot of fun to ride. He puts a lot of work into it with very little equipment, and I had a blast. And then, of course, we went and rode pit bikes out at Madden on the turf track, and I got to hit a metal ramp for the first time. And I was actually kind of scared, even though it wasn't a big gap.
Yeah.
We had talked about it. It was like pushed up, but yeah, it was cool.
I mean, so talk about more about the plate. Like, what kind of facility? This was the turf track that had
The metal ramp.
There was the turf track.
So John at Madden MX, he has a freestyle guy, and I can't remember his name, who's brought his ramp out there and is going to go out there and train. Cowboy Kenny's trailers out there, so it's kind of picking up people coming out there riding.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's more of a moto playground area. I mean, he calls it the motocross playground, like the Madden MX playground. It's not necessarily an actual like track, but he had that out there. I helped him put it in. We did a bunch of work, moving dirt and moving stuff around, and then I wanted to be the first one to hit the ramp to the new landing, so I just sent it, and it was cool.
Nice. And then Scotty and I went to Athens and raced. We're having some graphics issues, so I'm going to swing around in front of you in a second, Scotty. But you stay on mic, and you guys talk about Athens.
Yeah.
Talk about my race if you want. I'm going to see if I can fix the graphics.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, it was. I'm so out of shape, bro. I don't know. I feel so bad that I've let myself get to this point, but
you also didn't have a bike for like 2 years.
And motocross is like, I hate working out and stuff. Like
It's the worst.
I just enjoy riding and like ride myself into shape.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. I made progress when we rode again. I rode Saturday and Sunday. So definitely feel a lot better now after that. And riding with Darkside's been fun. Dude, he'll ride dirty. You gotta.
Oh, absolutely. That's why it's fun to ride with him. But did you notice like when you got through with practice, were you like, oh, this weekend's going to be tough? Or were you like, where did you start to run out where you're like, I'm going to struggle?
Well, my
my
setup wasn't right on the practice at the race.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm totally screwed. Like I couldn't even do one good lap. Like I was bouncing out of every rut. I never felt comfortable. I would tighten up after like 3 corners.
So your stuff was just too soft for the sand?
Yeah, and then I stiffened it up, and it made a big difference. Like the second moto where the track was like completely worked was smoother than my other races.
And the people who don't know, Athens is a very, very deep
They
sand.
call it Texas Lommel.
Yeah, it's super.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
From what I hear about Lommel, I doubt it's anything like that. But it was sandy.
But for us,
awesome.
I think it's the sandiest track we have, wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
Except
I haven't
for
been to Oak
Badlands
Hill.
sand section.
Well, Oak Hill's pretty sandy, right? But I haven't been there a long time. I thought it used to be.
It's not sandy like that.
Okay.
To me, it's not.
Yeah. I had a blast. I moved up to the B class and felt like
you did good.
Yeah, I felt like I'm riding really well. I just wanted to get some gate drops. I kind of bullied Scotty into going.
You did. I just wanted to ride this weekend, and then I said, "Which one are you doing, Saturday or Sunday?" And he said, "Both." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll probably go ride Sunday." And he's like, he called me
a P word.
Yeah, P word.
Why you mean a P word?
He didn't say anything to me.
Yeah.
You should have seen.
And he just decided he was going to be a P word.
Yeah.
I went and rode. I would probably put more laps on the bike than y'all did. As far as time on the bike, we never stopped riding the whole time.
I put over 2 hours on the bike in 2 days.
I probably did that each. I mean, when we left Madden, we got there. We started riding at 10, and I left there after packing up and everything at 6.
Gotcha.
And I mean, like seriously, just rode and rode and rode. It was so much fun.
I only did like 15, 16 laps at Athens, but it was.
But race pace laps.
I did 2 races and I did 2 full 20-minute practices that day, and then
100% y'all rode harder than what I did.
And then at Steve's, I went out.
I did 5:20s according to my polar.
You went out 5 times?
I think it was 5. Yeah, I recorded 5, but it was 20 minutes each time. Like the last time was 26
I went
minutes.
out every time you did. I thought I only did 4.
I had 5 recordings. The first one was a warm up. I think I went out before you. You didn't go out the first time. I don't think. Or maybe you said you did 2 laps, but
just a few.
So I don't know, but yeah, so I did. I got a lot of riding. It was a lot of fun. Went 3-3 on the day, which wasn't bad. I thought I had the whole shot
out of 5.
Yeah.
What do you mean you thought you had the whole shot?
I went 6-6 out of 6.
What's that?
What do you mean you went?
So I got the start and going in the first corner, I thought I came out of the first corner first before the guy passed me. But then when I went back and watched my GoPro, he actually got me going into the corner.
If you had given it like that much more
I was
throttle,
basically the P word and backed out,
Yeah.
and he just went around me. Yeah,
you hesitate. I've noticed
sure.
that kind of that first corner. You kind of do that.
Does it still have that sweeping left?
Yeah.
For the start? I like that.
In the split lane. Yep.
Split lane?
It's a split lane now. I mean, I don't know what it was before.
You
but
do the first corner, then it goes into a option.
like a split lane.
Okay, but yeah, the start's not split.
No.
No. Yeah.
So,
That'd be wild.
but yeah, it was a lot of
That's a
fun
good
racing.
idea.
If you're listening and you guys race this weekend, you got some cool stories, MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. You know we like that interaction. We haven't really gotten a lot of interaction in the last couple of weeks, so we'd love to get some emails from you guys telling us your stories. We can read them during the Evans Coolant email segment.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, we had a blast racing this weekend. It was good. Really, I was kind of bullying, quote unquote, Scotty and trying to bully you just because I wanted us all hang out as a group, but you just refused to hang out with your friends as normal.
I did. Wait,
TJ.
so Tom's not my friend?
Well, we have our group that but he's one of the group.
One of the group, right?
But there was Chase and I and Scotty, and we're all going to this one place. We're like, all right, let's all get together. And no, TJ just doesn't want to do it. It's always, oh, I don't want to go there. He doesn't like dirt bikes, though. He just like e-bikes.
No, I Steve's place is fine. I feel like I'm going to die, even though I know I'm not. Like, it's weird. I've cased every jump out there and never had a problem. But for whatever reason, that track is in my head that if I case something, I'm going over the bars.
That's weird.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah, that track, it takes a minute, but once you get everything timing down, it's
fun. Definitely great to get a chance to ride a bunch this weekend. Had some fun getting the gate drop. I'm with you. I almost would have rather gone on Saturday somewhere you could just ride open practice.
Yeah,
but I wanted some racing. I wanted some gate drops because Loretta's qualifier is in 2 weeks.
And there's no replacement for that. You need to be hitting races like when you go everywhere.
Well, I'm not going to have a chance when, I don't even get much time to ride once I get out there. So
yeah, I
just want to get some gate drops. But had a blast. A lot of fun this weekend. No crashes. I did tip over at Steve's crossing the track, basically. Hit like a little soft spot and fell, but
all of
no
my
crashes.
bikes crashed this weekend, but
I saw some of that. Yeah,
I didn't.
Saw some of that. All right.
Don't loan your bikes out, and if you do, loan it to good friends like Tom, who will actually send you money to replace the parts they break.
He actually broke something?
He broke the lever, back fender, side number plate.
He really ate it.
No, he looped it out, like off the he landed on top of a step up, and then was going to ride a wheel off of it. And that the torque of the e-bike was too much, and he basically stepped off of it, and it did a flip off the back of the jump. Yeah. Anyways.
Is there video of this?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll show it to
I
you.
need to see it.
If you were on social media, you would have seen it.
Or if you had an iPhone, he could be in that group
That's true.
message.
It could have been the group text. We could all see it.
No green bubbles in that message, sorry.
Yeah, it would have showed up on yours as this little blurry garbage.
That's iPhone's problem, not Android's problem.
No, it's because Android can't.
No, that is not how that works.
Android can't pick up the high quality of an iPhone.
That's such
video.
bullshit. That is a complete.
Watch your language, young man.
That is completely not how that works.
Well, you know what? That's where we're leaving it because it's time for the Yamaha Motor USA highs and lows. And Yamaha has a reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades, like the iPhone. The YZ story is 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations, like the iPhone. Yamaha's new 50th anniversary edition YZs pay tribute to a half-century of championship-winning performance wrapped in stunning retro style. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com. My Yamahas are loaded up, headed to California in the morning, ready to go. But we're going to do the Yamaha highs and lows. Does anybody want to go first, or you want me to go? Or
you go ahead.
All right, I'm going to go. So right off the bat, Yamaha highs racing in Athens, which we kind of already talked about, hanging out with most, quote-unquote, most of my friends. Amber flying in. Amber's here right now. She's going to ride with me to California. It's going to make the drive a lot better. So that's a high. And heading to Cali is a high. Not the drive, but the getting there.
Yeah.
And upcoming national this weekend, Paula is a high.
You're going to be there, which is right.
Yeah. So those are my highs. Lows were no Supercross this weekend, no Pro MX this weekend. And J Mart announcing that, hey, he kind of already knew it, but he's not going to be racing. Had that second concussion. That really sucks.
Is he not racing at all? I thought he was.
I mean, I think he's going to try, but it's hard to say. There's 2 concussions in 6 weeks, and he's still not really where he wants to be and having some lingering effects. Who knows, right? Who knows? And then I guess a high and a low was the GPs. Really great. They did race this weekend. Some good racing. But, my guy Geyser didn't get the overall. Had a little fall. But overall, I think MXGPs were a high. So those are my highs and lows.
Yeah.
TJ?
My low... I'm not going to throw his name out there, but I found out a buddy of mine's mom has cancer, and he's super bummed about that. And so that's definitely a low. But the high was hitting the metal ramp, and I'm getting way, way more comfortable. I'm 45 years old, finally getting way more comfortable hitting stuff that's like got huge peaks on it. And yeah, just had a blast. And that new track Boneyard, it's $20 to ride, and it's really a lot of fun. So
Cool. Scotty?
Yeah, my highs were that I got to ride both days this weekend, and my lows were that I still suck.
No comment. That's it? That's all you got?
No, I had a good time this weekend. I guess the low would be, obviously there wasn't much racing, but there was a golf major, so I got to watch that.
Okay.
So-
was this the weekend when that guy got arrested?
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
something
What
on Twitter.
Scotty Scheffler, he's the number one guy in the world right now. Super well-rounded dude. Would never
golfer.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
renounced good guy. Christian never has caused any problems. There was a fatal accident in front of the tournament Friday morning.
So they had the road blocked off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're the players are in marked cars instructed to do a certain thing, and he was doing that certain thing, but because of the accident that he didn't know about, it caused confusion, and the cop tried to get him to stop. He didn't see him. He didn't stop. The cop held onto the car. He got
The cart?
the car,
Literally the car.
this was like
as they were
6 o'clock in the morning,
on the road
trying
into,
to
into the facility.
So they detained him, booked him, they charged him with assault of a police officer and all
because
kinds of stuff.
I read that
It's
the
all
police
gonna-
officer jumped on the car. Is that accurate?
He just held on to
Okay.
it. He held on to it and ran.
And he kept driving or whatever. And
Yeah.
that's why the officer
Yeah.
arrested him for that. Okay. Was there any truth to the fact that the officer had a bet against him or anything?
No.
Okay. I saw this stuff on Twitter, so I didn't know. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, I didn't know.
Well, if they did, I'm sure that it would come. I haven't seen.
Well, I just
that.
saw it on Twitter, so
Yeah.
but I didn't know if it was true or if it's just BS. That's why
I think
I
it's
figured
BS.
you had probably heard it being in the golf world a little bit more. But yeah, but he got out in time to go play, and then
Did he win?
no,
he top 10.
he definitely he talked some trash in the press conference about the city and the people. And he was
No, he didn't.
yeah, he did. I watched it.
No, he
He
didn't.
was like the people of the state, or he was like the people of the state. I can't wait
I
to get
watched
out of
his
here.
whole press conference after that
Dude,
round. He did not
was
say one.
trashing. I watched the video. He's like, I can't wait to get out of here. The stuff that happened this morning was trash people and.
That might have been somebody else because I watched his whole.
Maybe.
I watched his whole press conference and he did not say one
right.
thing like
That
that.
golf is sounding way more exciting. Than
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
it got
okay.
People
wild.
going to jail, yelling. in
Post
press offices.
show, we got to figure out this golf thing. I know I saw a video of him talking about it, but all right. Anyway, I regress again. I regress.
This whole thing has been a regression.
Yeah, no shit. Okay, so let's talk about then. Since one of my highs is Paula coming up. Let's get some thoughts on Fox Raceway Round 1 Nationals.
It's good there.
Okay, Scotty, what are your expectations for coming up, Fox? I mean, I kind of want to start with or just focus on the 450 class. Jet's probably I guess Jet has to be the favorite. Sexton probably the second favorite. But what are you most excited about seeing? What are your expectations? We don't want to talk about podium because we're going to do that for the EVS picks.
Okay.
But just who do you think is going to be good? Who do you think is going to struggle?
Just gonna be fast. Sorry. Yeah. I was just trying to make a joke off what he said. It was funny.
I know, that's why
Yeah.
he didn't laugh.
Yeah.
It was
Don't cry.
All
Just
right.
move on.
No, I'm good. Not gonna. No tears right now.
Tissue over here for you.
I think that I just hope it's good racing. Yeah. I mean that's.
Yeah.
I really don't like. I really don't like what like Paula. Like it seems like there's only when they try to go to that next level and really battle each other, they just start slipping out and there's only one thing that they can do. So I don't know. I wish, but there's nothing. Where else would you go? It's gonna start on the West Coast. So I think Sexton's gonna have something for Jet. I hope to see it, and I just hope to see. I've been watching 22 when Tomac and Sexton were going at it, and those races were so awesome.
Good. Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping for something like that.
MotoXpod@gmail.com is our email. Let us know your thoughts, but also don't forget that Vital MX does have a fantasy league. There is an outdoor season, Vital MX Fantasy. There is a MotoXpod Show league that you can join and get in, have some fun, just talk some trash if you want with us on the show. We can see who's, we can get our own little group chat and our emails going, guys, and talk some trash about fantasy and have some fun with that. All you got to do is get involved. MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. Go to Vital MX and sign up. TJ, if you look at last year, Aaron Plessinger was very consistently in the top 5, third overall. Justin Cooper in the 250 class, and I feel he's better on a 450. I just think he's a better rider on the 450. A little. I believe he's.
I think he transitioned very well.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, he looks really good on the 450. And last year in the 250 class, battling Hunter, he was only off the box 2 times all year. I can see him being a little bit of a sleeper in this outdoor series and getting some podiums and certainly getting some top 5s. Now, whether he wins or not, that's very questionable. But I think
it is a little bit of a depleted field.
Yeah,
so.
if you look at Jet. You take Jet and Chase, probably the top 2, right, for first and second. But when you start looking at 3, 4, 5, and you take Hunter, Justin Cooper, Aaron Plessinger, maybe Barsha getting in there. There's probably somebody I'm not thinking of.
Mookie.
Maybe. He didn't do anything to make me think he's going to do well outdoors, considering he hasn't raced outdoors. But those few guys, I feel like there's going to be some good battles. I think we're going to have some really good racing. Do you feel like any of those guys can actually get up there and battle with a Chase and a Jet?
I think on starts. I think it's all going to be start dependent. I think if those guys get the start, they're going to push the limit. I think you're going to see Jet and Chase. They're going to be more of what we saw Jet do this summer, where he's willing to follow, willing to just be patient and drop the hammer when they have to. I think Chase is the same way. And so because of that, if you get like a Justin Cooper, an AP, or someone, we'll get some very exciting rides. I'm interested to see if after a little while we realize, the other guys are just behind them until they can't anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I always kind of admit that when I do these shows and I make my predictions, like I kind of go off my heart sometimes more than the statistics, because I want Hunter and Justin to be and AP to run out there with the guys and make a battle for the podiums. And so
I think Hunter will be a lot better in outdoors than he was in Supercross.
I think so too. I don't think he's going to be good enough necessarily to consistently.
You think he gets a moto win?
But if he gets a start, I can see him being a lot more difficult to pass than he was in Supercross. Can he get a moto win? Yeah. I'll give Hunter a moto win, sure. We're not going to have an undefeated season.
I would say, here's my question. Who in the field could straight up beat Jet right now?
Like on Jet's best day?
Like that can not just to get a start and Jet's 8th on the start. I'm talking about they are side by side.
I hate to say it, but I think maybe only Chase right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Now maybe
I
we'll
don't think
see
Chase,
something.
I don't think
if Tomac
anybody
comes
can.
back, maybe. If he has just one of those
Or
days.
Cooper maybe. But
Listening to some things that Chase has said off the record, he's got me pretty pumped on how the outdoors is going to go.
well, of course they all have to believe that.
Yeah, it just feels different than normal. Like, because this isn't like him. He's not even really saying this on the record. He's talked about some things off the record that just make me confident.
And I think a lot of that, just my opinion, is because he's like, he had such a low spot when he went to the KTM.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't as comfortable as quickly as he wanted to be. And I think he's like riding a big wave of high right now because that they've got the bike where he likes it.
Yeah, and he has said that it's night and day better outdoors than in Supercross for him.
Awesome.
So I think his confidence is very high going outdoors, and that's really what we need is his confidence to be high and him to believe in the bike. Yeah, and then, I mean, obviously Jet's going to be super confident no matter what, but yeah, I mean, I just have to believe we're going to have a better series than last year.
I was a Carmichael fan whenever he was dominating.
Dominant.
I was the same way. I'm the same way. Jet.
Not fun.
I guess. I think it's cool seeing somebody do that stuff, and to watch Jet be up front again is going to be fun.
What about a guy like Barsha? Can Barsha figure, like, it hasn't been good the last couple of years. Can he turn it around?
Outdoors or he
Either
almost
one, really.
I mean, he didn't. He won a race last year.
Yeah, but consistently, like in my mind,
when has he ever been
in my mind, Justin Barsha is still one of the elite riders, right? He
Yeah,
is the elite
absolutely.
guy,
He
but he's
is.
not putting in elite rider results like I believe he's capable of. I think he is. I mean, he's clearly struggled with the bike and whatever.
He got some podiums there at the end.
Is that what you'd expect out of Barsha? Oh, he got a couple podiums here
Yes.
and there. You don't think like Barsha should be a winning rider at least once,
Not
a couple
now.
wins a year?
Yeah,
No, you
I
think
think
it's
I
over?
think we're
No.
at the end of that age where it's like
Maybe.
he's expected to get a win.
Like, I think that
Like, would you be surprised if he got a win? No, but is he expected
See,
to?
at this
I don't
point,
think so.
I would be surprised, but I feel like
No, I mean,
okay. What you're saying is
Any
you
given
think
Sunday
he
kind of
should
thing.
be, but he's not. So yeah,
but I don't know why.
because he's getting older and.
Well, so are like guys like Eli and Kenny, and they still are.
Do you think that Barsha on the big bike was ever at Eli's level?
No, Damn it. Why do you have to have a good point?
Because I just make them all the time.
Okay, what about 250 class? Again,
It's gonna be fun.
We're gonna do.
I jump metal
since
ramps.
we're only
I'm a
having
Geeks fan.
since we're only having 2 guests tonight. We're gonna do a Blood Lubricants 250 picks
Okay.
for Apollo. So again, no podiums.
Yep, I got you.
Who do you expect to be? Who do you expect to be surprised by outdoor, or who do you think is going to do better than maybe most people would expect? You not being surprised, but like everybody else would be surprised.
That's a really good question because
That's what I do.
The Supercross, really and truly, the 250 field's weak. You have some top guys. You have like 4 or 5 top guys who are like, you know what I mean, that you think, okay, those guys are going to be up in the top 5. But then after that, there's like a huge gap. Look at how the Supercross season went, where you had pretty much the same podium all year long. And both both coasts, you know what I'm saying? And so because of that, you've got, I mean, what's his name is who else is going to be back that was hurt? You know what I'm talking about? Do we have anybody?
Well, look, we're gonna have Kitchen, Vial, Deegan, RJ. I feel like
McAdoo will be back.
Will McAdoo be back?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not positive he's back for the first
That's
one.
what I don't think so.
I thought he was.
But when you say weak, like the field's a little weak, what do you feel?
I say there's a huge gap between the top 5, the top 5 or 6 guys and the rest of the field.
What do you feel would make a strong field? Like how many top level guys or guys that could say
10
podium?
guys, 10, 15
you have to have
guys.
10. Wow, I don't know that.
We have. I mean, look at how many champions are in the 450 class.
Yeah, but there's not 10 guys that can win or even podium.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the 250 class is going to be more exciting than the 450
I definitely
class.
think it's stronger than the 450 class.
No, I just saying, like, I just watched the Supercross. Obviously, they were split, the coast or whatever, but there was the same guys every week, like on whichever
There's like
coast.
6 of them. I think like I can't
Look at the showdowns. The showdowns
I
are
believe
crazy.
Jaleek's going to be pretty good outdoors. From what
You think Jalik can win?
I think
You're like, I got to interview these people.
I do.
He's got to interview these people.
I think he wins
you
a
know
moto.
what? Speaking of that, change the subject. So we got a couple minutes, and
Yep.
I called Aiden. Aiden's banged up right now.
Kiefer?
I called Aiden Kiefer yesterday. Yeah, sorry, yesterday to check on him, and I get he quote unquote he answers. He's like, "What the fuck do you want?" I'm like, I was calling to check on.
Did he just use
sorry.
bad language and get on
Well,
you
I'm
about
quoting somebody. It's a quote. It's not coming from me.
Gotcha.
What the F do you want? I was like, well, I was checking on you, but F you, man. And we're going back and forth. I'm like, man, when I see you Wednesday, when I get to your house, I'm going to freaking jack you up. And he's like, no, I'm going to kick your ass. And I go, this is Jalik. And he just starts laughing. He's like, yeah, you didn't know, did you? I was like, damn it. So yeah, Jalik got me. He was talking some mad smack.
Oh,
to
is
me.
Aiden out there?
Yeah,
still?
he's still out there training with Brownie. And,
That's funny.
Yeah.
Jalik had you going, huh?
yeah. It's like, it sounded like Jalik's like, yeah, I was trying to use like bro and like that, like
Yeah.
Aiden does. I was like, yeah, I knew it wasn't the right voice, but it was the right words.
He did good. He did good.
Jalik got me. But anyway,
Yeah.
I want Jalik to be able to win.
I think it's all gonna. Man, it could be good, but I just feel like we have the cameras are gonna be on the certain guys they're gonna be on, and as far as us watching the races on TV, we're not gonna see any of the good mid-pack battles.
Yeah. Well, so like we're gonna see Schmegan and Schmorch.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm a Deegan's fan now. I jump metal ramps.
Yeah. No, I like both of them. I like Deegan and Lawrence, but it just camera's gonna be pointed there.
Yeah, well, we'll talk a little bit more about who we think is going to win, Paula and whatnot, in a few minutes. First guest of the night's on. He's going to be brought to you tonight by FXR, which is designed by racers for racers with industry-leading fit, finish, performance. Progression is the name of the game. With every new piece created at FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible, used by Muck Off, FXR Club MX Yamaha team, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and our next guest. FXR has core motor roots, so visit fxrracing.com or go to your local dealership and ask for FXR. Tonight, FXR brings us from the GNCC XC3 class, Coda. I want to call it, his name is Dakoda. We're going to call him Coda. Coda Devore. What's up, Coda?
Oh, how's it going, guys? Pretty good.
Yeah, good to have you on. I'm going to tell you right now, man. Travis Benjamin McQueen, I guess that's his name. It's his name on Instagram. reached out,
Yeah.
told me I should get to check into you a little bit, get you on the show. There is almost zero information on you on the internet anywhere. We got to get you some exposure, man.
Yeah, well, hey, I raced a Pro-Am Moto last weekend to hopefully fit in a little more of this podcast. So, but no, no, I see that, and I'm like, yeah, there's not much to talk about with me. There's not much out there, so this is a good chance to maybe open up some.
Yeah, looking forward to this. Let's just start out, since we don't know much about you, and people listening probably don't know anything. Where'd you grow up? How did you get into riding to begin with?
I grew up here in Ohio, like southeast Ohio, more southern, and I've always been around bicycles, dirt bikes. My brother, he rode. My grandpa, they raced and rode back in the day, and my dad, he even raced sprint cars for a long time. So
Nice.
I think I was bound to be in something, and it was like I was like 2 years old riding bicycles, BMX bikes, and then I was 4, and my parents bought me a CRF 50 from the local bike shop, and we actually had a house fire at the time, so my parents were up building the house again, and kind of just left me here, nothing to do, and we live out here in the sticks, so they bought me a bike, and I just fell in love with it from day one. I started racing at 5 on the little CRF 50. It was actually funny. My first race ever was a woods race right by my house. And they put me in. I was the only dirt bike there. And they put me in with Pee Wee 50 quads, or the 90 quads.
Yeah.
So I did like a full start with a whole bunch of quads. But pretty much took off from there. And kind of been racing ever since. And got real serious into racing, I feel like about 11, 12 years old, racing every weekend just locally, and a few nationals here and there. And then, kind of just kept going through the ranks, and just loved riding. That's pretty much what it was. And just rode my dirt bike every day when I was younger. No trainer, no like set deal to do every day. Just loved riding my dirt bike. And my parents, we loved going to the races. And I turned, I think, probably 14, and then we started doing the national GNCC series full time. I think I did C class at a young age at 13, 14, and then kind of just went through the ranks from there each year, and started racing A class at 16, and we've just been full bore since, I guess.
Yeah, it's impressive looking at your results from this season. And I want to get into that, but I want to back up for just a second, because you said something just in passing that caught my attention, and your dad racing sprint cars. I grew up around that stuff. That's what actually probably my favorite form of racing is open-wheeled sprint cars, winged, non-winged, I don't care. Did you ever have an interest when you were younger of like, maybe I want to, run the cushion at Eldora or anything?
Definitely as I got older, as I was probably 3 or 4, I think my dad, that's about the time he kind of got out of it. And it was funny. My mom, she always tells a story. She was always push starting because you couldn't start this. They had to be bump started.
Yep.
So she was pregnant with me, and she was always talking about having to run and push start while she was pregnant and whatnot. But
she pushed it by hand?
Well, they were, friends would help, but she'd be back there helping bump start it too, and going to the races.
Most tracks have a push truck.
Yeah, they do. I'm not too sure what the deal is with that, but that's what she always has that story. So that's funny.
Awesome.
I mean, definitely bound to be in something.
Yeah.
And so when I got older, I seen my dad race a few times. I remember he did some regular asphalt racing and like a regular car. I'm not too sure. How they all, but So I remember going to a pretty big sprint car race just a few, like probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it was a pretty big race. And me and my dad went, our parents, and I'm like, man, I had like an adrenaline rush watching it, like lap times and stuff.
Oh,
and
it's
I'm
awesome.
like, man, what do we got to do to maybe get in one of these once or twice? But no, it never fell into the cards yet. Yeah. But it's definitely on the table for some time, I think.
You think dirt bike racing is expensive? Try to do 4 wheels. It's insane. Man. But do you know who Matt Burkeen is?
I know of him just from racing him last weekend.
Yeah, okay.
But,
he just texted me.
no, my buddy Ryan Isaac, he actually knows him pretty well, and he was parked by us for a minute and talked for a minute. But no, I don't know him personally.
Okay, yeah, he races professional arena cross and motocross and has a killer. His Instagram's hilarious because he goes all the arena cross races and films all the crashes and edits it together. But yeah, he just said, dude, I just raced that Devore kit guy you're having on your show at a Pro-Am last weekend. I had no clue who he was, but he shreds. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did have some pretty good battles in the Open Pro class.
That's sick. Well, I want to get to that in a second, but let's start right now. You're racing XC3, your second points, if I'm not mistaken. Very little support. I was told you have a little bit of KTM support, but like no factory support. I think you're just getting a little bit of help maybe with bikes. I'm not even sure what your deal is, but talk about racing that class. Is it normal to have at your level getting the results you're getting with almost no support, or is it very difficult to get support in that class?
I would say it is more difficult than most classes, than say like 250A, kind of the stepping stone to the XC2 Pro class. That's kind of what it's always been for off-road. You go through the ranks, and 250A is usually before XC2. And so they added XC3, a 125 class, probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And right when it came out, people were always like, man, you should race that class. And I've always been like, no, like I was younger. I'm like trying to go through quick. And I'm like, no, just 250A, and then keep riding those 250 bikes, get used to them. And then when I'm ready for XC2, I'll be ready for XC2 from riding 250 all these years. But no, we went through some things a few years ago, racing 250A. I was just always getting hurt. Like nothing crazy, but a lot of like little head injuries here and there, and I would just really upset my seasons, and a few big injuries here and there too. But anytime I was healthy, I was always usually one of the top guys, and so with no support at all then, back in 2021, we were like, well, kind of wanting to go the next step, but don't have no support to do so. So we bought a couple 125s, and yeah, we've been in it for a couple years now. And yeah, so this past year we had in 2023, we had an all right season with a couple wins, but definitely could have been a little better. Didn't make it to the finish line at all races, but we had a pretty well season, and like I said, it was able to get a couple wins. And KTM's off-road team manager, he had a little bit of an offer for me to, like you said, not crazy support, but just a little foot in the door with, discount on bikes and allowance, a way to make more money and all that good stuff. And so kind of my only option, and we took it, and definitely helps a lot being full privateer. And now I'm kind of doing a lot on my own now, working full time as well. So definitely harder to get support, but the little bit that I do have that I got this year definitely helps a lot.
Oh, I would imagine.
But yeah, I think the 125 class, I wouldn't say it gets frowned upon, because if you can put it up there in the top 20 overall every single weekend, which is very well possible, it does get looked at a little different. I've seen a few kids get full deals after this, but definitely a little harder than, dominating 250A.
Sure.
Those top three guys are going to get exposure and support before the top three in XC3 for sure.
Well, I'm sure you would like to stay with KTM if they can up the ante this coming into 25, but a little insider information. Do you know Stu Baylor at all?
Not really personally. I've been to his place a little bit here and there, and obviously see him every weekend, but no, not really personally. No.
I just did an interview with him last week that's going to be up on Vital here in a few days, and his team is getting the full Kawasaki factory support for 25, and he told me at the end of the interview, I'm going to be looking for some badass riders for next year. Go see him this weekend. Just go by, introduce yourself.
Just shake his hand,
dude,
and say, I'm a badass
just go say,
rider.
hey, dude, I heard your interview on Vital, and you're looking for some badass riders, and I'm badass. So
Yeah. I'll go right over. I'll tell him Vitamex sent me and say we demand a ride.
yeah, I'll text him. I'll say you need to keep an eye on this kid. So yeah, but yeah, literally though, that's the thing, man. Like, we're more motocross, supercross focused, but we always tell our buddies and privateers, like, go introduce yourself to these team managers and put your face there, because when they're looking for somebody, they're like, oh, that kid came by. He's pretty good. You know, he's nice or whatever. So
they'll at least be watching for you.
Yeah, go put your face in front of those guys. You know, go talk to everybody. Put your face out there. And
bring him donuts.
Yeah, that's what I did to get to get my start in the media. I took donuts.
I would take beer instead of donuts.
Yeah,
but
he likes donuts too.
Maybe a 12-pack might work for that. It might work real good.
12-pack and Vital sent me.
He might sign you right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scotty.
That'd be good.
Yeah. So, Dakota, were you riding a 250F before you decided to go do the 125 class?
Yeah, I was riding one for about 2 years straight at that point.
What did you think when you went to the 125? Do you feel like you can kind of manhandle the bike a little more in the woods? I always felt like the 125 is a good bike, but what was the transition like for you?
It was pretty tough, honestly, because I kind of got off mini bikes or super minis at an early age. I feel I was 12 years old when I got off a super mini.
Oh, wow.
And I actually skipped a 125. We actually got a 252 stroke right off the rip, and
wow.
Just for fun, kind of. Like, I wasn't, like I said, I was a pretty decent super mini rider, but not nationally. I was just raced a couple here and there. So when we got a big bike, we were kind of just like, well, let's just kind of get something that I can eventually get the hang of and just get the big bike down. And so, I don't know, we made a decision to skip a 125, and it was funny. I rode big bikes from 13 years old all the way to just about 19, 20, and I never got a 125 until we were like, hey, let's just do XC3. And it was funny for the decision to go XC3. My buddy back home who used to race back in the day, and now I ride with his kid a lot, he had a 125 he would ride with us, and he'd let me borrow it a little bit the season before I went to XC3, and man, I had so much fun on it. Just kind of riding it for fun, not serious. And then I'm like, yeah, dude, you think I could race this thing at the last GNCC? And he was all on board for it. And I went out to the last 4 rounds after summer break and did 250A and came out and won the first race back from summer break in 21, and I ended up getting hurt a week later, so that put a wrap on the rest of the season and riding the 125 for the last round. So kind of just went in the winter and was like, screw it, let's just go race 125. And it was definitely a way for me to make more money for myself and get contingency bonuses on board. So at the time, I was starting to have to work a little more and have to fend for myself a little bit more. My parents still help me out tremendously. They're there every weekend, and man, they do so much for me. I couldn't do it without them, but definitely growing up a little bit. And so we kind of went that route to go to the 125. And I will say, man, showing up to race 125 at the GNCC was kind of hit in the face. It wasn't as fun as just riding a Groom Moto track.
Yeah, I bet not.
Yeah, it definitely took a good bit to get used to that thing, especially for the third hour, to still keep that same speed. Those tracks are so mangled. I mean, it's pretty beat by the time we even start the race with about, 6 or 7 races that race before us throughout the weekend. And we get to it, it's just shredded. And then, yeah, definitely kind of was a hit in the face, but I've always been a 2-stroke guy too. And so when I was 13, went to a big bike. It was a 252 stroke. Always kind of been a 2-stroke guy. So I was able to adapt pretty well. I would say fairly faster than most, but definitely kind of hit me in the face at the beginning.
Dude, 13 years old riding a YZ250 is nuts. That's crazy.
It was definitely a handful back then.
So this year, if you like finish the year out strong. It's not like you're doing really good. Do you, if you don't pick up a ride or something moving into the XC2, do you stay in the XC3? It says I don't think there's an age limit on that class.
Yeah, there's not an age limit. And actually, I want to say when the class first came out, it was kind of more so for like retired pros to come out and have fun.
Yeah.
At least that's the way I kind of looked at it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it was. Like we had Jason Raines, he did it 1 year, full season, and did very well. Paul Whibley came over and did a few, and there's definitely been a handful of other former pros to come out and race it. So, but my plan is, regardless of what happens next year, any support at all, and definitely if I don't have any support, I'm definitely going to be going out and buying my bikes full price and going to do it the full privateer way and go XC2 for sure.
XC2, cool.
So I think I'm pretty well spent on riding these 125.
Yeah, speaking, you said you had a little bit of KTM support. You talked about that, and Travis mentioned that you have a local dealership helping you out, also Action Extreme Sports. So talk about, outside of the little bit of help you got from KTM, who's helping you. I'm going to talk about mom and dad in a minute also, but talk about the help Action Extreme Sports gives you and what other kind of support you get.
Well, that's a touchy subject.
Okay.
He actually, Travis actually might not get the full scoop of it, but or might not know. But AES Action Extreme Sports, they're definitely a great dealership. They help out a lot of riders, and they're actually helping out my nephew right now, Michael Meyer. He's doing pretty well in the 150A class. He's just 14 years old. And he's racing the A class in the GNCCs, and he's having real good luck at the locals too. He's usually getting amateur overalls, but no, we kind of had there's a little falling out there for me with the local dealership.
Okay,
but
that's all right.
So right now, yeah, I'm just going. Sometimes I make a trip up to Point View Cycles, and they help me out pretty good, and they take care of me pretty well. So, but I've only had to do that a few times this year. Yeah, like you said, KTM support. So I kind of just go directly through Timmy Wygant, team manager, and I order my parts through there. And as long as I'm on top of it and get them in time, I don't have to make a trip to a dealership. But yeah, Action Extreme Sports, they took care of me very well for quite a few years. I kind of started going there when I was real young, and yeah, they kind of took me under their wing and did a lot for me over the few years, but kind of just had a little misunderstanding here the last year and a half or so. And yeah, kind of went from there, and yeah, really mainly just doing my own thing. And Travis McLean, he helps me out tremendously with suspension. I mean, we all know what suspension costs nowadays, and just to get it set up, and that's not even getting it set up properly. And for some people that are picky like me, we like to, there's a lot of communication there, but Travis, he came right on board, and he helped me out tremendously. And I mean, he doesn't have to hear me talk too much about the suspension, because I mean, I've been on the same setting since round one, and it was the first setting he gave me. And so he's done a really good job with that, and I haven't had to touch my bike hardly at all, just clickers here and there. And then, yeah, other than that, we have a couple local companies and local construction businesses helping me out. One I actually work for, it's my brother, Sevilla Construction. On the payment side, he helps me out with that, get to the races every so often, and some bonuses at the end of the year. And Daryl Gentry with Gutter Solutions and More, another construction company up north from me. He jumped on board, actually gave me my first real ride a few years ago, and he gave me a practice bike, Yamaha, and he helped me out with that for a year, and then he ended up buying another bike for me a year later, and so he's still on board, and he still takes care of me pretty well. And yeah, I mean, I got FXR there in with good support, and then just a few other regular industry sponsors giving me pretty decent support.
Yeah, I think a couple of our sponsors are helping you out. Evans Coolant and Guts Racing both on board with you, I believe.
Yeah, Guts and Evans, they're both on board. Yeah. I've been with Guts for quite a few years now, and man, he's a good dude. He's been
Andy.
taking care of me Andy's a great guy, and he's been taking care of me for my seats and covers and everything for the last few years. And
Good.
yeah, he's all on board with that. And yeah, Evans, they've been on board since last year, and yeah, we've had nothing but good luck with Evans Coolant, and yeah, it's been good.
I want to talk about mom and dad for a minute. All my information I have on you came through Travis. So he said that mom and dad, as a lot of moto parents do without to give you the opportunity to do what you're doing. But he said specifically your mom, here's what he said. Mom is hilarious. She's a little backwoods, but your strongest ally, and tells you like it is. So I want a good story about mom telling it like it is.
Oh man, see, I've never really she does get straight to the point, but I've never been pushed to race.
Okay.
I've never been. I could have came in last place, man, every single race that I've ever entered, and I'd come back to the truck, and my mom would be pumped. And there was only one time I remember back on mini bikes. There was and I've told her this story a couple times, and I'm like, this was the only time you guys have ever gotten on me. But it was like a 2-day local race, and when I was younger, I would have a big problem on always looking back, not focusing forward. And I mean, like I said, we've never done no training, nothing. Basically what I was being told to do or pick up on was just coming from my parents, seeing me come through the pits. And like I said, it was never anything. They were just like, oh, maybe try this. And, you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But,
Okay.
I rode with my brother a lot, so he was always there helping out, and my cousin. But no, there was a 2-day race, and Saturday we did it was like an hour race, and it was just some local event. And I remember I kept looking back, and I let a couple kids kind of chew me up throughout the race. And I came back to the truck, and my mom was like, man, she's like, you can't keep looking back. She's like, you can't keep riding like this. I know you're better than that. So then the next day we had a much better day. But man, I will tell you, that's probably the most harsh my mom's ever been on me when it came to getting down to the point for racing my dirt bike. But
Just support
definitely around the house, maybe a little. Yeah, support and love for sure. Maybe around the house a little bit more. But no, my parents they've always done everything they could, and definitely, like you said, have gone without to get me to the races. And yeah, I mean, everything they've ever done has been surrounded by me and making me happy and doing what I need. And man, I'm really reminiscing on that in the past couple months a little bit, and I'm very thankful for them.
Great to hear.
So you're from the Ohio area, and we have a lot of, isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
Ohio area?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it seems like a lot of the cross-country guys and stuff like that are from that area, the Midwest. What is it about there? Like here we don't really have any public lands to ride on, so most everybody rides moto, but y'all don't have like the big deserts like California has. What is it that makes so many of the great off-road riders, cross-country riders come from y'all's area?
My biggest take on that would just be, I think it's just a gnarly area to ride in. So they say there's actually like a article thing, the hardest / gnarliest races in Ohio or in the States or something like that. Yeah, I think it is in the States, and because ISDE and stuff on there, so whatever. But actually a mud race in Southern Ohio is specifically stated on it. So I don't know. I think it's just gnarly riding, and there's a lot of woods to come by, and there's definitely a lot of property, a lot of friends, and a lot of people that know everybody. And I think the people that are riding and racing around this area are, I'm just going to say built a little different. They're kind of gritty, and
Yeah.
we got the rocks, we got the ravines, and when it rains, we ride. And there's a race series going on within an hour and a half, I think, anywhere in Ohio. And it's big for enduros, so like the Aces enduros and whatnot. And there's a couple of national enduros here in Ohio. I think it's just a gnarly area to ride, and like you just said there's a bunch of just regular off-road guys, but there's also a handful of hard enduro guys now too out of Ohio. And
Yeah.
there's quite a few properties around that those guys can go train hard enduro. So yeah, I would say just gnarly riding that makes the grit come out of that rider, and they take it elsewhere.
In the live chat, one of our listeners says, Fishman says, you learn to ride fast there because you're probably trespassing.
Hey, that's probably true, because I grew up where I grew up. Man, we had thousands of acres to ride. A farmer owned it, and he didn't care what we really did. And we had some of the best grass tracks I've ever rode, and some of the best single track loops. And just recently, a bunch of Amish just bought it, and they kind of put a stop to all that with the hunting and everything. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of that Amish buying property around, and that's where I think the trespassing comes from.
Good,
Well, hey, they're gonna have a hard time catching you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I always look to at the GNCCs is how I guess the word would be like intimate it is between you guys and the fans, because like they're right there on the track with y'all, and it's always provided a unique experience. And I think it's kind of like a whole family, unlike the motocross sport in that way. So just what are your thoughts on the fans? If you got any cool stories, or just what it's like riding with everybody just standing right there?
Oh yeah, definitely gets you going. I hear Stu Baylor talk about it a lot. He says, man, every time there's a crowd, it just turns him up, and he just twists the gas. And I definitely say that's true. They definitely get you pumped up. And yeah, it's not like moto. Like last week, I just did my first moto race, and my buddy was taking some videos, my mom, and I watched them, and they were like cheering a little bit, and I couldn't hear. I mean, my mom even was like putting a pit board out for me, and like you can't only get so close to the track at a moto race, especially like an amateur one. There's no pit section, and so I told her, I'm like, I didn't see nothing, like I didn't hear nothing, I didn't see nothing, and it's funny because it was just last week, and kind of a cool story at Powerline Park, GNCC. Here in Ohio. It's only 45 minutes from me. So it's been off the schedule for about 5 years now, and they brought it back on. So I'm pumped on that. I was able to sleep in my own bed and wake up early and go to the race. But no, they had a gnarly hill climb there at the race, and it was kind of like a pro line and an optional line to go around. And it was pretty muddy, and you didn't have much run. And man, I remember coming up my first lap, and I had no other choice but to hold the 125 wide open. So I don't know if it was a little bit of the two-stroke thing or everybody from back home, but the fans were going wild. And I could hear them from the bottom of the hill all the way to the top. I mean, people were jumping in. I almost got stuck. They were just grabbing me, putting their hands everywhere. And so it's definitely a little chaotic sometimes, and I've definitely had my fair share of running into a couple fans. But like last weekend at Powerline, like I said, I feel like that whole hill climb, they were all pumped. I was coming off it. There were a lot of people from back home, and yeah, throughout the race or throughout the track and multiple different areas, everybody from back home, they were going crazy. So it definitely, I will say, helped out a lot when I was going in my third lap, 30 seconds or 40 seconds down. Definitely helped me pick up the pace a little bit for sure.
Let's close this thing out with, I want to stick with motocross for a minute. You said you did the first motocross race. Did you have fun? How'd you finish? Do you want to do another one?
Oh man, I had the most fun I had all year, I gotta say.
That's cool.
Yeah, I really did. And I had some buddies there, and I ride with a lot of moto dudes. And I mainly only ride moto throughout the week, at least the majority of the time. So it was quite the experience, and the moto starts definitely were much more chaotic and hectic than the regular GNCC starts. But like XC3, we usually only have about 8 guys, so going as fast as we can, live engine down the straight, and then we all come together as one was definitely pretty hectic for me. Especially, I never got a good start one time, and every single time I had to come through the pack. But no, it was awesome. Pleasure Valley, they did an awesome work on the prep. So the track got really rough, and it had split peg deep ruts everywhere. It had some off cambers and some really chewed out, whipped out sections. So I feel like that really benefited me because that's kind of what I start on in the GNCCs. And,
Right.
So coming through the pack, and they were a little bit longer motos, I think, than regular amateur motos. I think they were 15, 20-minute long.
Yeah.
So they were a little longer than I hear they usually are. So I like that. But I honestly wish for 5 more laps, to where I think a few people will wish for 5 less. But,
Sure. Yeah.
but no, it definitely benefited me to come through the pack. And yeah, we had a couple good results. The first 250 Pro Moto, we went down, and I think the first lap I was 18th, and then I went down the second lap, so I really had to charge through there. But I think I ended up 7th that moto, and right behind 5th and 6th, so
Okay.
it wasn't too bad. And then the second moto, we got a better start, and I still think we came through the first lap 13th or 12th or something, but we got up to, I think, 6th the second lap, and we were there for pretty much the whole race. And we caught up to 4th and 5th there, and I was able to get by 5th. And then I caught 4th then after passing 5th, and we ended up catching 3rd. And I just couldn't get by 4th or 3rd, so I got 5th in that moto. And then the Open Pro, I think I got a terrible start in that, and
Got to work on
I think
those.
I came back, came back to 7th on that, and ended up going down in the second moto and sitting inside the top 10, but went back to 15th and came back to 11th for 11th overall in that one. So definitely not the prettiest race all around, or motos all around, but I had to work for every one of them. But I had a blast, and yeah, I already have a couple more Pro-Ams on the schedule, and
Oh, yeah.
hopefully maybe even a little more for next year.
I like to hear it, man. I like to hear it. It's been a real pleasure getting a chance to know you a little bit. Go out there, finish this GNCC Series XC3 Championship off strong, and then go see Stu, man, and see if you can get some help.
For sure. I appreciate it, and thank you guys for having me on here, and that was awesome. And yeah, I'll definitely be putting my face in under Stu's tent this weekend for sure.
Yeah, do it. I'll text him tonight, and then I think I'll be at the final GNCC at Ironman. I talked to the guys at Ampro, and I think I'm going to ride that again. So I'll come see you. I've never had a chance to meet you, so I'll have to come find you.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, but great having you on, and thanks for your time, man.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
A 12 pack of Bush is cheap.
Yeah. I'll get right on that.
Yeah,
I have it right on the doorstep.
All right, Coda, take care, buddy.
Thank you guys. Have a good
yep.
one.
Coda Devore tonight, brought to you by FXR. Very cool to get to know him a little bit. A lot of
good.
fun.
Sounds like a good kid. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we need to get into the X Brand Forum check-in. X Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, the 23 National Hare and Hound champion, XC1 champion Dalton Shurey, 23 AMA National Enduro champion Grant Baylor. Very clearly, they're very, very good for off-road riders.
Does Dakoda wear them?
If they can get, what's that?
Does Dakoda wear them?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
He probably should. He'd probably be winning right now instead of being second.
He won't be 40 seconds behind.
They are second to none. Also, motocross, supercross, and arena cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, Jerry Robin, and more use X Brand. So visit EKSbrand.com or go to your local dealership. Don't forget, they won a championship last year with Hunter Lawrence. They Alpenstar goggles or the X Brand Lucids. They are fantastic goggles. Go check them out. At least try them on. You will not be disappointed. Matt Burkeen just texted back, dudes legit. Off-road guys are gnarly. Yeah, I don't know if Matt's listening or if he just happens to be texting, but yeah, they're very gnarly. Most of them kick our butts on off-road. But the X-Brand Forum check-in this week is posted by Spundink145. The title is Wanting Jet to Win. A bit of an odd topic, but was wondering if anybody shared this feeling. I don't find myself being a die-hard fan of Jet in the sense that I like him, but he is not my favorite rider. But still, every time we line up, I end up rooting for him. There's just something satisfying about watching him beat the records. I think it stems from the fact that deep down I know if someone else wins, it's usually not because that rider is faster. It's because something happened to Jet. So it just feels like I'm relying on luck if I were to root for another outcome. Thoughts on?
I'm 100%. That is like, I've never put it in words.
Yeah.
But that guy put exactly how I feel about it. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, Jet's the greatest, but I just really love, and like I said it earlier, I loved it whenever Carmichael was winning and all that stuff. I don't know why. I think it's cool.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, like I grew up as a McGrath fan, and I know McGrath is like your guys that you always watched it. Do you think like subconsciously, like we say, oh, hey, we just want to see good racing, but in reality, we don't want to see the like, we don't want that to be like the new, like, it's like, it's not, it won't be long live the king anymore, it'll.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. Like if Jet, are you saying like if he goes on and beats the record and stuff?
Yeah, because you said
doesn't
records.
Bother me. It really. But what I was thinking about when it comes to just this topic specifically, like I don't like when a guy wins everything and he's going to win everything. But then at the same time, I didn't like when people were beating McGrath. So it's kind of like I want somebody to battle with McGrath and almost beat him, maybe beat him here and there, but then in the end, McGrath does win the championship.
I think that's why I like Chase so much, is because Chase is like the guy that can do it, but it's like will he get to it every time? So it's like oh, who's going to catch him this week? Like what will he be able to do? I kind of like watching it that way. So
yeah, but there is something just beautiful about the way Jet rides, little things he does.
It's nuts to watch. You can't hate it.
Oh no, it's very boring. Like I think I'd rather watch Barsha ride.
It's boring watching him ride. Like
yes.
like when you see him hop over
on TV. On TV.
Well, even I've watched him do some like, oh, that's cool. But then you see Barsha do it also on the limiter.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
I see what you're saying. It's not. Yeah,
watching Barsha at like a free practice, like when you just walk into the stadium and you see him riding, it's like holy crap! it's amazing.
Loud.
Yeah, it's very loud.
Yeah, I don't want Jet to. I don't care about the records. I really don't. I just don't want a rider to be that much better than the other riders where it's like, oh, he's going to win unless, like this guy just said, something happens that causes it. Like, I want there to be legit competition for the wins.
Yeah, so he won 8 races this year. Isn't that, like, when Tomac won his championships, I think he won about 8, 9 races. Coop won, like, 7 or 8. So, I mean, he was pretty on. It's not like he just completely won every race.
Well, we're looking at we're still using the undefeated season from last year, and the races that he lost this year were like the mud races where he just sort of was like he legitimately probably should have won 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, and I don't know. Like I was saying earlier, I've been watching the replays of the 22 season, and I don't think that he was pushed to go that fast yet. I don't think he's been pushed to go that fast. I don't know if they'll get to that speed that Chase and Eli were doing. Was nuts.
He wasn't pushed to go that fast because nobody else could go that fast.
I know that's what. So, well, I mean,
I definitely feel
he never got
last season. Jet could have easily went faster.
Yeah, I know, but we never got to see it.
No, but that's because nobody else was fast as Jet.
Chase had a weird season. Yeah. And was coming back.
God,
Eli was gone.
I just think this season's gonna be different.
I do too.
Coop and Eli being out blows.
Yeah, I think the as far as the forum goes, watching Jet's impressive. Yeah, he's probably going to win a lot, and
I don't want him to win a lot though. It's like this guy kind of wants him to win, but kind of doesn't. Yeah. I don't.
Well, buckle up.
And again, not because I don't like this guy. Not because I don't like the guy. He's fine. I mean, Jet's fine. I don't want anybody to win all the time. I don't want to go to a race and be like, oh, we know McGrath's even. I'm kind of contradicting myself. Like, we know McGrath's going to win unless something happens. Like, that's kind of not
Yeah,
fun.
But when he would start, like,
I think TJ wants
I
to
know
say something.
he'll get a second.
Well, he's only here for like
When he
night a
would
month
when
or a
McGrath
year.
would start 7th or 8th, you were like, oh, here we go.
that part. Yeah, that was kind of exciting.
So like that's kind of how it is with Jet. Like, oh, I just want to see him get like a 15th place start and see the fireworks.
I didn't want to butt in because I was going to change the subject a little bit. I just want to toot my own horn about, remember, like before Supercross, I was like, Jet's going to win. I've been saying it all season long. At the beginning, I was like, Jet's going to dominate. What's the point of even
Racing?
Of even talking about it? Jet's going to win, and I mean, I think it's going to happen outdoors again.
We never disagreed. We just wanted to see.
I don't care what you want.
We just wanted to see other things happen.
Chase for the championship. Barnett clutch performance of the week. With 75 years of experience behind them, Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials exclusive to Barnett for maximum performance and durability. And you can get 10% off with promo code VITALMX, all caps, at barnettclutches.com and feel the Barnett difference.
Did you watch any races this weekend at Athens? Did you like go watch people race?
A little bit. I watched Scotty ride around.
Was there any clutch performances at Athens?
Yeah, our buddy Brody Irwin clutch performance, actually, because Moto won.
Yeah.
He made a little mistake. He got a little blown up. I caught him and passed him on the last lap. Got beside him. I said, I guess we got time for this. Why not? I yelled at him as I thought I was passing him. I was like, let's go, Brody, let's go. Because I was having fun. He's a buddy, whatever. He got fired up, walked off on me. And then afterwards, he's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I got in your way. I was like, he said, I know you were telling me to get out of the way. I was like, no, I was telling you this is fun. Let's go.
He just,
but anyway,
it just burned out on you.
Learn that the hard way.
And then second moto, I got the start. I talked about. He came from behind me, passed me, and then walked off on the guy that won the first moto and just like gapped everybody. So, and I feel like that was pretty clutch at that race.
Yeah, Brody's good rider.
Yeah. You guys have a clutch performance yourselves for the week?
It wasn't me. You're right on that.
No, it was not you. I
got a long ways to go. I know. I'm coming around.
I got a clutch performance.
Okay.
John Madden, our buddy, was the turf track.
So funny his name's John Madden.
Yeah. his son, Bear,
Turducken.
who is like, I don't know, the kid's like 10 or 11 years old, hit the freestyle ramp and like came up way short on the landing and like bounced feet up off of the seat, landed on his front wheels, rode to he was like, he wasn't like crying, but he was so like scared. And
How old is he?
He's like 10 or 11 years old, like
Dude,
little. And he was like, that's the clutch performance. He rode that out, and then like he kept
10-year-old jumped the freestyle ramp that TJ's so proud of.
I don't care.
That's pretty clutch. I wouldn't have probably hit it when I was 10.
It was it. So his save was a clutch performance,
Nice.
and then just you could see the pure fear afterwards and the elation. You know, it was cool.
Hey, I when I went out there with y'all and I rode your Suron and I rode behind him, he's not slow.
Oh, Bear's not slow.
No, yeah, he knows how to ride. Yeah, for sure.
Do you have one?
I said I was unclutch.
Yeah. So okay, so you don't have a clutch performance.
I guess not.
Okay.
The clutch was.
Welcome to being a part of the show.
Yeah.
Even I pulled one out of the hat.
I guess
we got 3 minutes before we got to get Jeff on. So if you don't, I'm going to get mine.
All right, get yours.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe yours maybe inspire me.
Mine is Brock
you'll get
Tickle
one.
at the Stopwatch Nationals.
Yeah, I heard about that
Kind
race.
of working some of the kids like Pierce Brown, Ryder D.
Yeah, but
Beaumare.
they were on 250s.
Don't
He was
care.
on 450, right?
Don't care.
I'm just verifying.
Yes, they were. And he
But
was
they
on
did that
450.
whole thing wrong. Why was it a race? It should have been like who has the
Yeah.
fastest
How are you
lap.
going to have a stopwatch national then just drop a gate?
And just drop a gate is dumb.
It was
But
just something they threw together, but
It's
it was
a cool idea. Yeah.
They split a $10,000 purse apparently, but yeah,
I heard that he's going to be doing some outdoors.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
He said that he was planning on doing it.
Okay, last time I talked to him, which has been a little bit. He
Oh, I'm
wasn't.
not.
Who,
Yeah.
Brock?
Yeah.
They talked about it on
Swap.
Swap.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
Well, then
said
I
that
guess
he may be hitting some of the nationals.
okay. Oh, some. I got you. I thought you meant like as a fill-in or something.
No,
No,
just
no.
a couple.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I'm with you. But yeah, that's kind of mine. And then even like with the MXGP this weekend, Hurling's Moto 2, pretty clutch. Paul's Jonas has been clutch. Geyser had some issues, but has the points lead back because him and Prado both had some bad races in the mud. But yeah, I think Hurling's Moto 2 was pretty clutch, coming down and getting Favre at the end. And then Favre winning the overall also in bad weather. Like,
But he didn't.
What?
He didn't win the overall.
Favre did?
No.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, because the other the two riders that jumped over the yellow flag and it all changed everything. Fevra, it put Tim at the win, right?
No, because
Geyser won.
Maybe it's changed. I looked at I watched it. And I looked at not that I'm aware of, but
I'll pull up the results.
Lewis is probably listening and screaming at his phone right now, but I haven't had a chance to listen to the MXGP review pod yet. We're gonna listen to that in the morning. I'm sure Amber can't wait. But either way, Favre's ride, in my opinion, was pretty clutch. But I'm going to give it to Herlings for that second moto ride.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was really good. I just love watching the GPs. It's hard for me to find time though.
I saw that it like when it started raining, and then I was still watching them ride, and I don't know, like it's hard to tell if you're not on the track.
Yeah,
but it looked really muddy, and they were still hauling balls.
Oh, it's embarrassing. I
was like, how are y'all doing that? I don't get it.
Those guys are so. I mean, just watching. Favre was amazing, and watching.
Geyser won.
Okay, all right. I guess, I hadn't seen those results. But our next guest of the night's on the line, so let's get to him. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. Don't forget they have complete seats for the Talare and the Super 73 and covers for the Sur-Ron and Segway. So visit gutsracing.com. Let them know the MotoXpod show sent you. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us the 6-time Supercross and Motocross champion, Jeff Stanton. What's up, Jeff?
What's going on, guys?
Not much. It's a pleasure to get you on the show finally. We've been doing this a long time, and it was nice to finally get a chance to actually meet you at Anaheim and, get you on here finally.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just hanging out in northern Michigan with my latest little project here, and it's all good. Riding dirt bikes. I mean, come on, how can I go wrong?
You can't beat that.
Hey, I got a question for you. I don't know if you heard us when you first came on. We were talking about the GPs. Do you keep up with MXGP?
I watch GPs more than I watch American racing.
What is your thought? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to butt over you. What is your thought of them changing the points after all the trophies and stuff were handed out and everything, where they pushed Geyser to the lead? Fevra didn't get the win. And what is your thoughts as a rider of that level at one time?
Well, the first thing that pops into my head is that they should be way more professional than that and have everything dialed in a little better than that. I mean, come on, 2024, but it is what it is, and the cream will always rise to the top. It always does, but a little controversy there.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. I literally got to watch the races today and saw I didn't realize it. That's bad on my part for not even knowing that. But let's talk about you a little bit, Jeff. You've been an ambassador for Triumph for a while now, and of course, Triumph's involved with Jeff Stanton Adventures. This Triumph thing, I wonder how you feel about it after Supercross. The season's over. I have said over and over, I feel like Jalek, his results do not show how good he was, and honestly, how good the team was overall. What do you think about the results and how Triumph's done in their first year? We won't really talk about Evan so much. It just didn't go as planned, but I think Jalek's done great.
No, Jalek has done great, and the team has done outstanding. And I was sitting with the president of Triumph at Detroit and his boss. We were all sitting together, and we were stoked with what happened at Detroit. Great starts, and we over and exceeded everybody's expectations. Everybody's got like the Cannondale thing. Oh, a new dirt bike. This is going to epic fail.
Yeah.
And so I believe that anybody would tell you we over and exceeded everybody's expectation in the bike, in putting the team together. I mean, if somebody really takes 15 minutes and sits down and thinks about starting from scratch, developing a bike, getting the staff, getting semis, getting parts, doing the whole thing in the time that the Triumph has put that program together, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree. And it only took, I think, 5 years. The bike was 5 years in the making for the 250. Is that right? Doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah. And then the thing we forget about is that's 5 years COVID.
Oh yeah.
And, it was delayed by a year and a half because of all of that whole scene that we all went through. So I mean, there was a plan to be out a little sooner, but because of circumstance, it didn't happen, and they were dead set that this thing was going to be right. And you have to, when you come out with a whole new product line and you're going racing and you want to go somewhere with it, you can't come out at 80%. You got to come out at 100%. You got to have your T's crossed and your I's dotted. And they've done a great job. It's been a major overtaking for them, but they've done a great job.
I agree. It's really cool to see. I love having these new OEMs and even just new teams in general coming in and trying to grow the sport. We need all the help we can get. We need more spots for riders, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Joey does outdoors. And we were just talking a minute ago. I think I feel like Jalik's going to do really well. I don't know that he'll be in contesting for the championship this year, but I expect him to do better outdoors than he did indoors.
Yeah, because he's a little more familiar with it, and so he's been, obviously working with Brownie for years, and the bike's good. I've got 10 clients here right now, and they ask me what do I think, and I would say honestly, if both of those guys are 5 to 10 consistently and can sneak inside the top 5, then it's a double bonus and a win for Triumph, just like the Supercross season was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really cool seeing Jalik have success because, he really had even though the results, not all of them went as planned, but I think overall he had his best Supercross season he's ever had. So to see him
absolutely, and almost on the podium at one, say almost, mistake. It is what it is, but
Birmingham
put in solid races, and so super proud of everybody there. And listen, it hasn't gone without a lot of work and some tears and some stress, and so everybody looks at it. God, it's awesome. But the race shop has gone through a lot of stress, and the company and everything. It's not all peaches and cream. I can assure you that.
Right.
Well, the bike looked, when he rode it, it looked powerful. Like it looked like it was doing everything that he wanted it to do.
Yeah, I think all the test riders like Kiefer and all those guys, when they came out, well, Kiefer obviously helped develop it, but a lot of people that rode it really were very impressed, didn't have anything negative to say about it.
Yeah, no, the release that we did at Gatorback was very huge for us, and we all said as a group that this had to be successful because, as we know, all the .coms and the magazines, they're a huge part of all of it. It's sink or swim on this release, and so it all went good. The whole team did a great job there.
So y'all had a very, very successful year with the bike as far as making it through the Supercross season. We all know Supercross is a little bit easier than a moto on the bike itself. What obviously it's a new bike. There's going to be potential problems, and there's going to be things y'all are constantly testing and diagnosing. But like if you wind up with a DNF because of the bike or something like that, is it like a complete failure, or you're like, okay, we're using this as a learning deal?
No, I think in today's world, DNFs do happen, and it's part of it. But I think with all the testing and all the time that any manufacturer has on it, that I don't want to say it won't happen, but in today's world, DNFs really shouldn't happen unless you're below the shock for some freak deal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was thinking of, Jeff. It's just crazy. It's like that wasn't even Suzuki's gets blamed for being the outdated bike, but that wasn't even a Suzuki thing.
Well, that shock has held up since 2013.
That was the funniest.
So anything crazy can happen.
Right.
Where I'm going with that, anything crazy can happen at any time. But we hope not. And they've been doing well in the GPs, and they've done a bunch of testing and got things figured out. So we just keep pushing on. It's all good.
Well, Jeff, I know you have people there that you have clients or people with you for your Jeff Stanton Adventures. So I want to talk about that a little bit. And Triumph's been a big part of that. That helps you kind of get that thing going. Talk about Jeff Stanton Adventures for those that don't know. What kind of ride you're on and how that works, because it sounds awesome. I've talked to Bradshaw about the things he does with that, and it just sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, so I just had a vision. Michigan is just so beautiful, and it's just kind of everybody wants to go. Let's go to Mexico and ride, or let's go to Moab and ride. But Northern Michigan has got just endless amounts of single track riding, 2-track riding, fire roads, and adventure bikes is the new thing. And so, I went to when I bleed red. I mean, I've told the story. I just told the story on Whiskey Throttle. I bleed red. So when they came out with the African Twin, I went to them and I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to do an adventure business. I want X amount of bikes. End of the year, we'll sell them. If they're riding bikes, they're gonna buy them. And they just couldn't get Honda to bite on it. And so I kind of give up on it, honestly. And one day, the President Triumph Rod calls and says, hey, I hear you want to do an adventure business. We got plans. We want to do stuff. We're all in. If they're riding bikes, they're going to buy them. And it's just, we've just grown together, and it's just led into great things. And, it's really, really a family. Triumph is a family-owned business. And I'm super honored to be a part of the family and be involved in the whole moto side and this adventure side. And for me in the adventure business, like I got a group of 10 guys here on a birthday weekend. They're all 60 to 70 years old. One guy's birthday, and they all came to celebrate his birthday. And we're riding dirt bikes for 4 days, putting 200 miles on a day, riding adventure bikes. And this particular group, they all brought their MX bikes, and so we're doing 3 days of adventure riding. And then the fourth day, we're going to go ride MX bikes in the single track and go do 40, 50 miles in the single track. And so I've got a 5-star lodge here, 5-star food, and it's just you just meet, like this group, you just meet so many cool people. There's bankers here, there's big time farmers out of Iowa, and you just meet so many cool people and share stories. I share my stories. We're just sitting around the dinner table sharing motocross stories, and you meet great people and learn cool stuff. And we were riding bikes all day. It's awesome.
It sounds absolutely amazing. I'm really, really jealous. How many of the people that come and sign up for Jeff Stanton Adventures are like Jeff Stanton fans, and they just want to sit around the campfire and talk about, you and JMB and how JMB did not want to pass Damon Bradshaw at LA? Do you have to tell the story 1,000 times?
I tell the story every weekend. I tell the same stories every week, but that's why they're here. My clients, 55 to 65, 70 years old. They most of them ride, still ride. They were fans, and absolutely. I put cardos in everybody's helmet. I do that for safety reasons, but we end up talking all day long, 200 miles of just talking about, making fun of each other and stories and dirt bike stories and life stories. And so, I'm super blessed, guys. This has turned out really, really good for me. And, I don't do many of them. This year I'm going to do 8 to 10.
Okay.
I'm posting 2025 schedule next year because I'm basically full for this year. Posting 2025 schedule next week for 2025, and going to do some couple of cool different things. I'm doing an international ride around Redbud. So I'm going to rent a bunch of RVs and have people fly in, and we'll go do the whole full-on Redbud VIP experience, and then come up here and ride for a week and try to reach the international crowd, which I haven't reached any because I only do 2-day rides, and it's not worth their time to come over here for 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
absolutely. I get that. I want to do this so bad, TJ.
Yeah. We can come on and we can promote it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, just go do the ride. Yeah. No, but my question was, do you have like do you set up your stuff where you like this week we're going to be this trip we're going to be like really harder, more technical tracks, or this next one we're going to do where it's just like fire roads and easier people, or is it kind of like a mix of all that every time?
I base it on my clients, on their riding That's ability. Cool. Like these guys, this whole group here, they all race GNCCs and hare scrambles, so we're able to do whatever we want. We want to go ride. So we want to go ride some really cool seasonal roads, what we call seasonal roads, or we can go ride some technical stuff, or the asphalt roads. Just whatever you guys want to do, we're doing it. And so, but every week I have to judge it off of my clients and their riding ability. It's not about Jeff Stanton anymore. It's about keeping my clients safe. If they leave happy, they're gonna come back. This year I'm at 80% return customers that are bringing 4 or 5 of their buddies back. So you're doing the right stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when somebody calls me, that's what I tell them to do. I'm like, hey guys, if you can get 5, 6 of your buddies, 3 of your buddies, 4 of your buddies, it's way more fun. Like this group right here, a group of 9, we can all laugh and joke. Somebody tips over, we laugh and joke and throw dirt on them. And when there's mixed parties, it's a little quieter and a little more kickback. But when it's a group that everybody knows, dude, it's just wide open. We have a great time.
That's what I'm trying to put a trip together with a bunch of buddies in Colorado at the end.
Not.
I really
You don't
am.
do anything with your friends ever. You bail every time.
But seriously, but it's all going to be like TW 200s and like TTR 125s, like more of like trail bikes hitting some fire roads through the Colorado mountains. I think it would be a really fun trip.
Absolutely. Super cool.
I have a $500,000 idea for you, Jeff.
$500,000.
$500,000. Okay. You just said you don't have, don't have a large reach with the international crowd. You got to reach out to Damon, and Damon can bring his Yamaha. It's fine. You get J&B over here, and the 3 of you do a ride and have people come out and follow the 3 of you around doing adventure rides.
Oh, yeah. No, Damon, I invited Damon to come, and we sold 3 adventures out, and it was just that reason.
That's cool.
People would love to sit around the dinner table and eat great food and hear stories.
But we got to get J&B too, though. J&B's got to come too.
JMB has contacted me, and he would love to do it. If I just said, "Hey, we're doing it this time," he would do it. I mean, I got no problems with him now. We talk, and we talk now more than ever, and so
that's great.
It's all good. But that's the kind of stuff that's honestly it's priceless to people.
Mathis would absolutely pay for it, 100%. You can probably get $500,000 out of him.
Well, that is a MotoXpod idea, so we get to come on that trip for free, right?
Yeah,
that's funny.
I know your wife rides. So I kind of want. Are these rides? Are they, because they are customizable? Are they geared to a lot of women? Do you have a lot of women show up?
We're doing a couples rides this year.
Oh, cool.
Just for that reason. And obviously my wife's going to join them. So listen, a lot of ladies ride adventure bikes. I have Tiger 900s that are, they're called a GT low.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my wife's 5'4", 120 pounds, dripping wet. And, she just rides these things like it's a piece of cake. And so, there's a demand for ladies doing this. And so I put in a couples weekend where we got 4 or 5 couples coming to ride for 2 days. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
I'm all about it.
I love it.
And then again, it'll be catered to their ladies and, dirt roads and, not getting them in a bunch of gnarly sand section where they get, lay the thing down. It's about customizing it for them and making an experience. It's all about the experience.
Love it.
Jeff, I kind of wanted to jump back to the Triumph, like your role with that and everything. You guys are in the same kind of class as Ducati in a lot of aspects. Do you feel that, was it kind of like monkey see, monkey do? Did y'all did it and all of a sudden they've got a bike? Or do you think Triumph was the first one to kind of start that trend now that we're seeing a lot more manufacturers try to get into this off-road market?
Yeah, I don't know how early they started their whole scene on that. I'm not sure if it was monkey see, monkey do, but like you guys said earlier, I'm all for it. The more manufacturers we have and successful manufacturers, it's great. It's it'll lessen the margin on all the Japanese manufacturers. It is what it is. The more we have. I've got some Ducati buddies that ride Desert X adventure bikes. Dude, they can't wait till that thing comes out. They're all over it. Just no different than the Triumph bikes.
Mm-hmm.
My local dealer, he got 2 of them in, and he had people drive in from out of state. That one guy was 75, and he's like, "I'm just going to put this thing in my barn. It's going to be a collector." And the first year, I'm sure 90% of them they're going to be that way. The true Triumph guys like, "Oh, I got to have this for my shop, I'm going to show this thing off." So the first year they'll all go, and then, it'll be a little more work trying to get, in our race results, we'll sell them down the road. But, the same with Ducati. They're diehard Ducati guys are going to buy them and buy every one of them up when they first come out. But then it'll be a little more difficult as time goes on.
Right.
Yeah. I have read articles talking when all this really started where companies like Triumph and Ducati were noticing that their clientele was getting older and they were trying to bring in younger clientele with the dirt bikes. Have you heard if that's working for Triumph right now? Like, have you heard how that's working?
I haven't heard. We won't know those statistics for a while, but I just know that each dealership gets 2 or 3. They're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Jeff Stanton's brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Jeff, I want to talk a little bit about your career, and then we'll let you get back to your guys. But when you first got into racing Supercross, there weren't training facilities. There weren't Supercross tracks pretty much all over the place.
Hey, this is a topic of conversation. Training facilities are a topic of conversation every tour. So go ahead. I'll love to vent on it.
Well, I was going to ask about training facilities, but I wanted to learn, how do you learn to ride Supercross? Like, I know you had some property, but how do you prepare to go to a real Supercross, which was a little different back then, but still, you didn't have a way to go do that.
No. So I was fortunate to be born and raised on a farm. We always had a loader tractor. So, I built as tough as stuff as you could with a John Deere loader tractor. And, I had a few skills, but, nothing prepared me for, showing up at Anaheim 1 in 1987 on a YZ250. I was fortunate, like I said, to be raised on a farm and had lots of places to ride and opportunities. And I never worked. I never worked with anybody. Nobody showed me how to do it. It was just all self-taught. Time.
Yeah.
Until I got, to factory Yamaha, and they had a Supercross test track in De Anza, and was able, just to put in laps. But it was all self-taught, and there was no Johnny O's or Jeff Stantons or Davey Millsaps that, was guiding, somebody that had been there and done it. And, hey, listen to me, guys, I've been there and done it. This is right, or this is wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It was until I signed with Honda and had Rick Johnson really as a mentor. I lived with Ricky the winter of '88, the start of '89. That's where I really learned a lot by riding with him at his private Supercross track and really seeing what it took and the technique and the timing and everything, just by burning laps and living with him for 3 months one winter, that I really gained that knowledge. And then we all know the story. He got hurt. I kind of took over and started rolling from there. And then I was fortunate enough to be able to have Stadium Dirt Design at that time, who did all the Supercross tracks, build me a track at home, and I had my own Supercross track that you just live and die on and learn your skills.
Such a different time, and we touched very briefly on training facilities. What are your thoughts on training facilities? I mean, nobody had really there weren't tracks for hardly anybody other than elite back in your day to practice on. Now everybody has the same opportunity to some degree. There are more people to help out with off the bike training. Like you said, you kind of had to figure it out, working, whether it be with Johnny O or whoever, and you were really self-motivated. Do you think the direction the sport's going in today is better for the sport, worse for the sport, or are you kind of indifferent?
I think it's 100% worse.
Explain.
And this is why. I just talked about it at dinner tonight. We just had this conversation. Okay, I'm not afraid to throw names and teams out there. Let's look at Star Racing. Okay, you're a Deegan. You're at the top of your game. How many guys are underneath him on a 250? How many are there
under him on the team?
Yeah,
too many.
7?
Like, yes, 7, 8,
4, 5, whatever the number is. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot on that team.
Yeah, let's say you're that guy that's 4, 5, and 6, and maybe not super mentally tough.
Right.
Are you ever going to make it when you have to ride with those guys every day of the week, train with them, work with the same trainer? Are you mentally going to get pumped up and be able to figure it out? I don't see it happen. I think you just get belittled. You get mentally beat up. It's either sink or swim is where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
You're and Ricky and I talked about it. He's kind of maybe a little more for it, but you either sink or swim. It's going to thin out the weak, or maybe that guy that's 4, 5, and 6, if he had his own place and he could hire a Johnny O or a Jeff Stanton or a Davey Millsaps and maybe build his confidence up one-on-one, maybe, with somebody else, maybe he would have a chance of making it. But when he goes there every day and he gets just hammered by Deegan and, the number 2 guy and the number 3 guy day in and day out, and then has to go race them, I don't see that building any character, building a person up. I just see that as we're just breaking down the walls, and I'm not a fan of it, just for that reason.
Yeah, I think it takes a very special mentality for that system to work. I think the average guy would get beat down. I think we probably saw it with like a Matt LeBlanc who just mentally never could adjust. And so I think to a large degree you're right. I think maybe for a few guys it works, but not very many.
Yeah, there's a few that'll work for the ones that are super mentally tough and they know that they're going to be dominant and they're that type A personality. But it just gives that person that's 4, 5, and 6. I just don't see it as a build up. And if I was put in that position when I first came into the sport, would I made it? Maybe not. It's hard to tell. But we're struggling keeping talent in the sport and numbers in the sport, and it's just a beat down system.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's a really good, interesting point, and I haven't really looked at it that way. And it's kind of the answer to it seems like the list of kids that had the talent and have the amateur career to make a splash in the big class. We have kind of sit there with our hands up. It's happened. The list is getting longer and longer. So I think it's a good kind of answer to that, Jeff. That's a good point.
Yeah. So, and KTM started it, and I get why they started it as a corporation. You want to keep an eye on all these guys and keep them in check. But dude, I didn't have the mentality. People. It's an open book. People talked about it. I was kind of an a-hole as far as to the fans and to the racers because I was focused. I wasn't nobody's friend. You had to go out and win, and there's just no way that I could train with them and then get on a bicycle and go ride with them, and then it couldn't happen with me. There's no way.
Yeah.
I'll say I see it from a different light. I've got a son who's trying to be a Supercross rider. He makes night shows. Made like 3 night shows this year. He's like, you know what I mean? He's trying hard, but he's on his own, and he doesn't. And he struggles with the direction. Where a place like that, when he could afford it, whenever I was paying for it, which I'm not now, but he actually thrived in that, where he was able to get the motivation because those guys were faster. He was able to latch onto them, and some people really struggle training by themselves.
That's a different level thing, though, is what he's saying. Like the kids that are coming up that are supposed to have that ride, right?
But he's talking about keeping people in the sport, and I think it takes all kinds.
Yeah,
right?
it takes different. Definitely. There's multiple personalities, so you kind of have to fit what works for you for sure. But a lot of these training facilities are getting to be kind of the cutthroat,
Yeah.
But just for the record,
we all need guidance. Talking about your son, you all need guidance. I seek to, I told you I lived with RJ, and so you seek the guidance. But when you have that guidance, it's about capturing it. And knowing what it takes and putting that in your personal program. I mean, that really, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink type of deal. Self motivation is gone, in my opinion. Not to everybody. I mean, there's those guys that have the self motivation, but dude, I could go on and on about people that called me and wanted me to work with them, and it's just all these guys think they need a man friend right now, and that self-motivation, that's what I'm calling self-motivation. There's none. I could go on and on.
Well, I don't want to keep you too long. I got a few more questions for you, but first I want to just, for the record, when I was probably 13, 15-ish, a couple years, you signed some autographs for me, and you were never an a-hole. So not that I remember. So I actually have one hanging on my wall right over here. I'm looking at right above McGrath and Brian Swink. So you're always cool.
And listen, I'm open about it. I talk to my people about it all the time, and that's why the Lawrences are going to be they're going to be next level, because none of that bothers him. When you see Jet win at Ironman last year, and then go out in the crowd and grab a little kid and take him up on the podium. You didn't know about him, dude. That's next level stuff. And I never thought about any of that because I was, thought I got to win. But these two kids are taking that whole scene to another level, and the big manufacturers are loving seeing it. And so, times are changing, and it's all good. The sport's thriving, and they're proud to still be a part of it. And I tell my clients this: look. A company like Arai Helmets, I've been with them since 1986. They call me and say, "Hey, we want you to be a part of the new helmet release." 30 some plus years later, and so I'm honored to still be a part of all my people and all the sponsors, and
awesome.
Still be able to do this kind of stuff with you guys. So it's the sport is awesome. If you take care of the people around you, they'll take care of you in the long run, and that's a lost art too. I've been with Bevo when Bevo was at Scott, and then the 100% and Arai and Dunlop, and I bled red forever, and now I'm starting a new family here. So loyalty is a lost art, but in the long run, over 30, 40 years of being in the sport, it's a hugely important piece of the puzzle for longevity.
Garrett Rockley, one of our listeners in the live chat, wants to know is when you were working with Bam Bam, was it like herding cats?
Yeah, I love Bam Bam. He asked me to be a part of his program, and he's like one of my kids. I had more fun down there living with him. I love Lorraine and Don and Justin. I still talk to him as much as I can. He made me feel like a kid again, and I just, he was fun. A little bit ADD, but God, we had a lot of fun, and we had some success when he was on a Honda, and I was a part of the whole Joe Gibbs switch a little bit there, and so it's super fun. I love Justin, and who doesn't really? It's great to still see him out there doing what he's doing.
Hey, Jeff, just one quick question for you. You've been in touch with the sport for so long, and you've seen the different eras and everything change. I just wanted to see, does what Jet did this past season, does that feel like McGrath in '93, or why not?
No, I honestly, I kind of got tired of hearing the whole rookie thing because what he did in the outdoor season last year, it wasn't a rookie going into Supercross. Right. You know what I'm saying? He dominated the outdoors last year, and if you can dominate the outdoors, like McGrath, he struggled more outdoors. If you can dominate outdoors and you have the skills, you're going to dominate indoors too. So, if I just told the people that are here, if he can maintain his humbleness for another 4 or 5 years, because honestly, that's the difference between being super successful and not being successful. And I've said it for years. I've been an open book about it with Ricky. The reason he's so successful is because he was humble. It's not that he really believed that he could do it every weekend, but he put the people around him that give him the confidence that he could do it every weekend. And the Lawrence family's done that. Look at who they have around them and their training side and their riding coaching side. So if he can keep a humble attitude and not put himself on a pedestal like, hey, I'm a bad A, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And keep things humble. Can he go to that 72 mark? Yeah, absolutely. But it won't be easy, Jeremy's. Those numbers are big, you know what I'm saying?
They are. Yeah, they are. And we'll see what happens. I don't want that record to get beat because I'm from the McGrath era, but if anybody's going to do it, Jet could do it. I've got 2 more questions for you from our Vital Forum, and then we'll let you go if that's okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So Mike Nips, actually, this was an email. He wants to know if you think social media has made the sport better or worse.
Oh, no, it's made it better. It's a double-edged sword. It's made it better. Maybe, and me, myself included, we get caught up in it too much. We spend too much time searching and looking, but no, it's made a lot of people a lot of money. Look at what some of these families and riders are making YouTube wise, and so I'm just jealous that I didn't jump all over it at the end of my career and be making what some of these guys are making a month. So
no kidding.
No, seriously, it's all good. It's brought sponsors in. It's made made people a bunch of money and give little kids inspiration.
Agreed. Absolutely. Yeah. Probably more people have come into the sport because of social media. Kids like Deegan.
100%. There's more little kids that follow the Deegans, and so I mean, how can you knock that? It's inspiration. It's bringing new life and new blood, and so you can't knock it at all. Absolutely not.
All right, let's close out with Pummel from the Vital MX forum. He said, "In your prime, you presented a very serious and dedicated persona. I know you were no Chicken or Holly, but were there shenanigans going on behind the scenes? Rental cars." We'll skip girls. You've been with your wife since 8th grade. That's insane. But anything crazy in your career like that stands out, whether it be racing rental cars or just anything kind of thing?
Yeah, it was for sure for me rental cars. My wife will tell you that I'm the sole reason why they raised the age limit to rental cars to whatever it is now, because I always did it by myself. I had my share of rental car returns that didn't go so well.
That's awesome.
But as far as other shenanigans, you know what I tell people, I was born and raised on a farm, and there wasn't a lot of money, and so there's two paths you can go down. There's the path that you go down, you put your head down, you work hard, you don't get caught up in drugs and girls and sex and everything there is to go with it. And there's a path where, oh, you know what, I'm okay getting 5th or 10th, and we can have fun. And it's still that way. It's still that way today. You can put your head down and go make it happen and have a good life, or you can have fun and surround yourself with good people and be successful. And that's how I was born and raised. And it's not that I didn't have any fun. I wouldn't trade my life for anything as far as how I was born and where I was raised and how I raced and, traveled the world. I mean, come on, I traveled the world and went everywhere and made great money on Europe and Japan and America. And there's nothing to regret or remorse. It was all super positive.
Well, I love it, Jeff. I'm so glad you came on here. I have so many more things I wanted to get to, but we'll just have to do this again down the road sometime, get you back on. It's been a real pleasure having you on here. Thank you so much.
Anytime, guys, and I appreciate it. And, keep in touch.
Will do, Jeff. Have a good night, and you guys be safe on the rides.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, see ya. Jeff Stanton, brought to you by Guts Racing. Dude, that was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I had so many more topics, which is
you could probably go on and on with Jeff.
Yeah, and I was trying to stay away from the career stuff to a large degree, but it was just when you have a guy like that with so many stories and so many, with the adventure rides and working with Triumph on the motocross stuff and his career, and we could.
He's done everything. He's won championships. He's been a manager. He's been a trainer. Now he's an ambassador. Like, he's seen it from all angles. That's kind of why I asked that question about, like, does this feel like the same way it did with MC? Because he's seen it from every angle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was super fun.
I looked online, and it's actually not that bad of a price for everything you get for that trip. It's like for the 3-day trip or a 2.5-day trip, it's like $2,300, something like that. That's not terrible.
Is that the long? I thought there was like a 4 or 5 day one.
There's a 3.5 day and a 2 day, maybe 2.5 day or something like that.
That's probably enough.
But that's the bikes, gas, food, and everything, right?
Yeah, it looks like
they feed you and everything.
It looks like it was the whole thing.
Then that's not bad at all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna close the show out with we're gonna do, since we only have 2 guests, we're gonna knock out 4 segments now. We're gonna start with the ProX top 5. If you guys haven't been with us last week, we've changed the Yamaha Motorsports USA is now the highs and lows. ProX took over the top 5. And ProX is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro Yamaha, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years, from complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets. ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. Find ProX at your local dealer or visit the visit ProX-USA.com and search your parts for your bike. ProX top 5. Who wants to go first? This week's topic was worst days or moments riding, but I told you guys, like, if you want to put in just worst days of your life, we could do that.
See, I try to forget them.
Next week will be you guys won't be on here, but you guys send me your top 5, but it's going to be things that only exist to annoy people.
Only exists. Yeah. I think I would be out on that one.
You can't think of anything that just annoys the crap out of you? Like, why does this exist? Like a dog?
I mean,
That was a joke.
I
Just
get
for you, Scotty.
for Scotty. Yeah, I'll think about it.
Dog hater.
Don't hate them. Just don't enjoy them. But tonight,
I got dogs.
who wants to go first on the worst days moments?
Go ahead, TJ.
I will.
Okay.
So no particular order except for the last one that I only have
that's
4
fine.
of them. But I blew my knee out on pit bikes at Guy Cooper's house, and it really sucked because like Guy Cooper was super cool and Travis was there.
One of my
and,
favorites.
And Pastrana watched it all
Also
happen.
didn't want Bradshaw to win that championship. That was the ride of his life. Like, he's friends with Jeff, and that was the ride of his freaking life that night in '92.
Yeah, and so blew my
Did I
knee
say
out.
Jeff Stanton?
Yeah,
Bradshaw. I didn't want Bradshaw to win the championship. Sorry.
And then we were out trail riding one time on the pit bikes, and it was really muddy, and we were at Rocky Ridge, and my bike blew up, locked the motor up at about 10 to 15 miles from the pits. And that really, really sucked. We had to wind up sending people back for tools to get to take the chain off so we could push it. And I don't know if you've been to Rocky Ridge, but it's called Rocky Ridge.
Heard of it.
It's out near Munster.
Okay.
It's not the same place as the Red River.
Like Herman?
Yes, right next to Herman.
Herman Munster.
That's good. Anyways,
Y'all are old.
Yeah, I know. I thought that as soon as I made that dumb joke.
dude, that's like one of my favorite shows.
It's great.
But I don't like the remake. I haven't watched it because I just can't make myself watch the one that Rob Zombie did.
It's not good.
I've seen the
It's not
previews. I've
good.
heard. I just like it. And the bad thing is, he's such a fan of it.
He's the biggest fan.
Anyways, moving on. That movie and what he did with that I hadn't even seen
Was my worst day.
I'm gonna also add that to one of my worst days because I kind of love the
I
monsters.
watched the first episode. It was like the worst day.
Yeah. So racing at
Joking, Rob.
Barnwell
Love you.
Mountain at the cross country race was awesome.
Okay.
Finishing was awesome. The worst day was I finished the whole thing and I got a DNF because I run out of time. They can eat a bag of
Potato chips.
And then I got so that one was awesome but ended in terrible. I got one that started terribly. If you got time for a quick story,
let's go, man. We got all night.
So
we don't have to go to California.
I didn't really
we
know.
don't.
I didn't know my biological father growing up. I mean, there was nothing.
Well, you win.
Yeah. No, but no. I got to meet him, and I was going to get to ride with him for the first time. So nobody in my family rode dirt
How
bikes.
did you know it was your dad?
Because what do you mean?
Don't
Moving
be
on.
an asshole. Tell your story, TJ.
All right, I'll shut up now.
So no, keep being an a-hole though. That's funny. Anyways, so I was going to ride with him for the first time, and he rode his whole life, but no one else rode, and I just didn't know that he rode. And when I found that out, I was really excited about it. We were going to go to Underground. Back in the day, they had a cross-country loop. This is way before. This is back when Rigo
I
owned
have a
it.
joke right now, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
Did he leave you?
Yes, he did. That's good. That's really good. So anyways, so I'm so excited for this. I'm so amped up to go do this. I'm like, for like a week, I've been getting everything ready. And I had a little trailer behind a Suzuki Samurai that I was driving. And so I got my bike on the trailer, and I'm on my way there. I get about 4 or 5 miles from the house, and I go to a stop sign, and the trailer tire passes me at the stop sign. It comes off, and I'm like, oh, no, and I'm supposed to meet him, right? So now I'm freaking. This is before there was, like, cell phones everywhere and any cell phone service. And so I'm like, oh, crap. So then I, like, if I get a hold of a buddy who comes out, he loads the trailer on his trailer, and then we stick the dirt bike in the back of the Suzuki Samurai, and so the back of the tire is hanging out of the back of the bike, and it wound up being this whole I'm talking about to the point that and anybody who didn't grow up with their biological father and then does finally get a chance to meet him, I was distraught. I was like almost in tears because I was like, this is not going to happen. I wanted this to happen like most of my life.
Yeah.
But then it ended good. But the whole trip there was like a terrible memory. But I did get to ride
It's a
with
good
him.
story, though. I actually enjoyed that. That was a roller coaster ride.
So anyways, but yeah.
Got it?
That was
You want to go?
Yeah. I don't have anything I don't know if I can beat that. I should have gone first.
Well, we already.
It's not a competition. But I mean, I won.
Yeah, you definitely won.
One time we went to
Uncle Steve.
a night race. I just moved to 85s from 65s to 85s. We went to a night race at Village. I got dead last. My sister got jumped or ran over. my dad's bike never ran right, and then on the way home, our gas. We used to have. My dad had an old Borden milk crate.
Oh yeah,
and we kept our triangles and our gas can in there, and it fell off of the trailer and almost started a fire because sparks.
Yeah,
and then I got sick and threw up all over the Suburban. So yeah, that was a horrible night race.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. When we had the free race at Swan a couple years ago, that's when I blew my bike up. That was probably.
That was 2 years of a bad day.
Yeah, I don't need
feel like
three
that's a
more.
highlight to me.
I don't need three more because that was
All
was it.
So is that it then?
No, yeah, that can work.
Okay.
I've had nothing like crazy, like
Yeah.
just. I mean, I've had some mechanical stuff and stuff like that happen, but I've never been fast enough to really let stuff like that ruin my day.
Right.
Never had a chance anyway. So
I don't think I have 5 actually. I would say 95. The first time I punctured a lung, broke a collarbone, woke up on the stretcher like I was
dude,
out.
I can name 5 for you, like right off the bat.
Well, I'm going to get to it.
there's Bradshaw's
Yeah,
bike.
it's on my list, buttholes. Jeez. Let me build up at least. But that was the first puncturing a lung for the first time was pretty scary. Waking up, I woke up in the ambulance or getting in the ambulance, and I passed out again. Woke up in the hospital. That was kind of freaky. Bad day. I was out for a while. Then 2020, Bradshaw's bike.
Oh shit, that's David Bradshaw's bike. I just fucked up.
That
Fucking believe I did that.
I like that. There's like I never really heard the 2-stroke back there, just like ripping.
yeah, that was the guy that Damon yelled at. Damon like apparently yelled and screamed at the dude because he was riding laps and I was still out there. And like I found this out later. That was obviously the weekend I met Bradshaw, so I just thought he was going to be. I was terrified of him to a degree. I thought he was going to be mad at me, and instead he was out there yelling at this guy that was riding around and not giving me space.
Yeah.
But yeah, that way it was a pretty bad weekend. But in the end, it actually it brought a lot of cool content. It did bring a little bit of I don't know if notoriety is the right word, where like people knew more about me, even though
it definitely was like it was
built
like
a bond with me and Damon. We're buddies now. So in the end, it didn't turn out as good as like my dad didn't leave me and then come back as good as TJ's story, but it's I became friends with Bradshaw.
Yeah, it worked out.
And then I was gonna say just Glen Helen anytime I have to ride Glen Helen.
I just thought about it. That story, that thing right there.
Your story or my story?
Yours.
Probably
kickstarted your media stuff like in overdrive more than anything else.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's funny
because it got to your own segment, the
Yeah,
Pony
a lot
Pod,
of
and
it-
they played it.
Sure.
Yeah.
you were already doing the wrap up show then.
When
No.
that happened, I don't think so.
Not at all.
You was right at the same time, right?
He might be right.
Because
Yeah, 'cause I was already doing it.
So I went
I think so.
went back, and since there's been no new stuff this week, I just like scrolled down and went to like a random old episode of Pulp while I was working this morning, and it was funny because you had just been at the Vet Nationals with them. It was like 2019, and you were saying that, hey, I'm going to ride at Cycle Ranch with Bradshaw, and I was like, oh.
If you only knew.
If you only knew.
So young.
You only knew what was to come.
Yeah, it was that was like, oh, he thought he was so excited.
All right, my last one is on that damn mountain in frickin' Apple Valley with Chris Keith. Or not, that was in Hesperia hell, I don't even know. Apple Valley was a different place we went. Well, Apple Valley is when I almost died of dehydration, and Chris took pictures.
Yeah,
and made that. So it's kind of the same thing, but that day on that mountain when I threw my goggles, that was.
Yeah,
hate you, Chris Kiefer. I love you, but I hate you.
Sporting Wood has one. He said, "The day I one more lap at a gnarly gravel pit, broke 4 ribs, tore a ligament in my spine." Called in sick to work that day, and they saw him being driven to the hospital.
That's awesome.
That's pretty bad.
That's a good one. Well, those are the ProX top 5s. Let's do the Evans Coolant emails. Evans waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, and Pro Factory Yamaha, and lots of other teams, regardless of sponsorship. Evans is in the pikes on the podium. I've got one here from a Michael Jarasco. Hey, I have a question for y'all. Do you think Deegan really tried to win the Supercross Championship this year? Being a young rider and immature, it wouldn't surprise me if the Deegan camp's plan was to not win this year. Instead, use these years to learn while he's still young. Thanks for having a great show. So basically, because you get forced to move up, right? You get a year to defend, and you have to move
I
up.
thought about that too.
So I find that very unlikely.
No, there's too much money and prestige.
Yeah.
Because look, so here's my thing, and I'd like to talk about this if we can. Everybody talks about like how, like Kitchen. They're like, oh, he lost it, but oh, you know what? He's gonna get it next. He's gonna be. Think about all the guys that it didn't work out, but you know they're gonna get it done. You look at AC. You look at we've talked about these riders who were almost there and missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if Kitchen will be that way, but they've talked about Kitchen's loss like it's no big deal. He'll be there next year. He'll be the guy. Look at how Fortner, how his career has turned out.
Sure, yeah, you never know.
Like at the list, like there's no way that you would not win that championship
if it
on
was
purpose.
there to win. Yeah.
Maybe
You
that
take
might
it.
That's
have
actually a really good point.
that might have
I
been
hate
the
saying
plan
that.
a little bit last year. Like, I mean, he wasn't really in contention, but I think like soon as after that was rookie season, the plan has to be championship 450s.
Yeah. I mean,
like-
I'm telling you, just because you're not. I mean, all it takes is you fall over during a practice and you hurt yourself, and you can't ride to your potential, and you lose the championship. No,
Right. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. We have one other one here. One habit that you would like to get rid of. What's a habit that you would like to get rid of that you have? Do you guys have anything come to top of your mind?
No,
Yeah,
I'm pretty perfect.
You, Scotty?
Yeah. Well, you already know mine. I don't really want to say it on the air because.
Oh.
But
Okay.
It's not after dark, and
no,
It's got Crocs and
no, that's not it.
you know when people wear Crocs, which way they lean.
That's okay. I'm gonna say it
No,
just
you
so people
have
don't
to.
think that.
It's not, I think I know what it is, but
yeah.
like off the top of my head, I should have thought about this.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah. Well, I wrote it down like 3 days ago and then I forgot about it. Let's come back to that one.
Yeah.
Let's come back to that. We'll save that one. I do want to shout out real quick.
That'd be a good top 5.
5 things that you'd like to. What was 5 habits you'd like to get rid of?
Yeah.
All right. We'll do that as a future top 5. Let me circle that so I can come back to it.
Yeah.
MotoXpodShow@gmail.com is our email. I say this all the time. Send us the emails on your thoughts on the show. Send us content or your thoughts on these topics. I don't really care. I get a lot of like, hey, you guys are doing a great job, and I appreciate those. But I want you guys to get involved where we can read these things on the air and have a discussion. Excuse me. So give us some thoughts on these different things. The top 5 or the podiums, the top 5s, etc. Really would mean a lot to us. VitalMX.com to sign up for the Fantasy League. Join the MotoXpod Show League. But I also want to give a shout out to one of our employees. I love Lewis and ML, but our graphics guy, Sean Ogden, he just emailed me some stuff back that he cleaned up for me, that a thumbnail I did. Almost everything you see on our website and our social media, dude, Sean is crushing it. All the graphics on the show, if you're watching on YouTube, Sean does all that stuff and gets very little notoriety. And I think Sean has made the VitalMX image much updated, much cleaner. It looks great.
And it's actually really cool to sit around and talk to.
Yeah, Sean's a great guy.
You get to meet him?
Yeah, I don't remember
Twice.
Yeah, but Sean's great. But I just want to give a shout out to our guy Sean Ogden. I'm putting the Stu Baylor thing up in a couple of days, and he cleaned up my thumbnail for me, and he just sent it over, and I just appreciate him. So I want to give him a shout out. Okay. Blood Lubricants. We're going to do a Blood Lubricants 250 podium for Fox. Do you think all oil is the same, TJ?
Nope.
Just say yes.
No, but I don't. I know Blood Lubricants is the best oil out there.
That's right. Well, it's not. Screwed that up. You're just supposed to say, Scotty, do you think all oil is the same?
Yep. Oh, wait. No, you said it backwards. That's not how you normally say it.
Do you think all oil is the same?
Oh, no.
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
You're supposed to, maybe you should say
No.
yes.
Oh my god.
No, that's not how
Dude,
I'm sorry,
okay.
that's not how it usually goes.
Shut up. Yeah, I don't usually ask the question. This whole show sucks
This is
tonight.
the best show so far.
It's because you're
It's the best one all year.
your mind's in California. That's
Yeah, it
why.
is. It's a bit like food in that you can have all the same ingredients, but a great chef will make something that knocks your socks off. Blood Lubricants was developed from over 40 years of knowledge in the oil business and is used by racers in the most grueling motorsports on the planet, including Baja, NASCAR, Indy, NHRA, Sprint Car, Motocross, Supercross, and many more. Blood Lubricants has a reputation for lasting longer than other brands and is known to keep your bike running up to 30 degrees cooler. Simply put, if you want the best oil you can buy in your machine, you want Blood Lubricants, BLUD. Visit bloodlubricants.com. Use promo code VMX25. That's all caps, V as in Vital, MX25 to save. Yeah, Blood is fantastic. These reads have been really rough tonight. Well, the whole show's been kind
Well,
of...
it's so good. Like,
okay.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't even. I'm really glad that they're the sponsor because I would have answered that pretty much no matter what you would have said.
Oh, boy. All right,
Yeah.
Blood Lubricant 250 picks for Fox. I'm going to go first. First place, Levi Kitchen. Second place, Hayden Deegan. Third place, Tom Vial. That's my picks. Scotty, what do you got?
Who's Deegan? Vial? Who?
Levi Kitchen,
Oh.
Hayden Deegan, Vial. Scotty?
Wait, hold on a second. I'm
TJ?
I'm messing with this.
I'm going to
for a second.
say Vial, Kitchen, and Shimoda. I don't know why.
Schmoda. Okay. All right. Again, get these picks in. I want to hear your picks from our listeners. Please send them in. MotoXpod@gmail.com.
250 picks
Yep.
for Paula. I'm going to go.
Nope, for Salt Lake City.
Oh, well, that'd be pretty easy to guess.
Okay. Let's do Fox instead.
Oh my God, dude. I was just like, whatever. I want to say RJ Kitchen.
Who's RJ Kitchen?
RJ's first, Kitchen second, Deegan third.
I'm sorry.
I got to pick Deegs first. I jump metal ramps now.
Oh, too late. You're out of the metal
That was his
militia.
dad, not him.
You are out of the metal militia. Before we get into the EVS picks for Fox, don't forget at Vital, we also have a ton of other cool podcasts. Lewis and Adam do the MXGP review
Dude,
show.
so good.
So good.
It's way better
They
than
do
ours.
the post-race show. What?
It's way better than our podcast.
Okay.
He's got Lewis in it. Even though he won't
Yeah.
reply to my text messages, he's still my hero.
And there's some individual pods. Stu Baylor want to be up this week sometime. Industry Insights is going to come out this week. There's a McGrath one coming up pretty soon. So lots of stuff. If you don't already subscribe to the Vital MX podcast channel, do that. There's some good stuff on there. Do either of you subscribe? You probably don't. I bet neither one of you do.
Wait, well, how
Yeah,
would
exactly.
I would say, how would I not subscribe and then still listen to the podcasts?
Just do it individually without subscribing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We got to get those downloads. EVS, over the past 39 years, way off the rails, EVS Sports has established itself as a leader in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today's motocross riders. Athletes like RJ Hampshire, not RJ Kitchen, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norn, Axel Hodges, and
RJ
Travis
Kitchen.
Pastrana all wear EVS when they race, ride, or whatever Travis decides to do that day. Check out evs-sports.com and use the code VITALMX30. That's all caps to save. Get you some of those new Web Eclipse knee braces. I've been wearing them. Kind of struggled with them in the first couple rides, but I'm figuring them out. They're a little they fit a little different than some of the other knee braces I've worn, but I'm starting to like them a lot. It just takes me a while to adjust to something new like that. But if you're looking for knee braces or knee guards, the TP199s and the Slaco 96 knee guards are fantastic. EVS has a lot of great protective equipment. evs-sports.com. Vital MX30 to save. What you laughing at?
A group, our fans in the group message group chat are the best.
They really are.
I'm just gonna say
It's
it.
good
I'm
times.
just gonna say it.
You want to?
Nope.
Cool. All right, Scotty, who are your picks for the 450 class?
I'm going to go on a hot take here and say Jet.
Weak.
Well, I mean, like, who else are you going to pick? I mean, it's.
Well, I guess you'll find out when I get my pick. But go ahead, Jet.
I'm going to go Jet, Chase, AP.
TJ.
I'm gonna say we're in SoCal. It's gonna be I don't know. Yeah, Jet, probably Chase, and probably Coop.
Cooper's not racing.
No.
Jake
Justin
Coop.
Cooper.
Jake.
Jake.
Yeah, Jake.
Okay, well, that is my actual podium as well. Jet, Chase, or no, I flopped Chase and Jet. Chase, Jet, J. Coop.
Yeah, Jake Coop is. And Jake Coop, he may beat Chase. He's been
Actually,
on that bike.
I probably
He's
could
really,
put Hunter
really.
Lawrence.
You got to think about
I had Hunter, and then I crossed him out for J. Coop.
Coop wants to.
I'd pick Lawrence over J. Coop.
Coop wants to stay on that Yamaha.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can get out there and get up there and be like a contender, then that will almost force their hand to spend some money on him.
Well, I hope he does. All right, this has been a mess of a show.
It really hasn't been that bad.
No.
You just keep highlighting the bad parts.
And I'm just being silly. I guess I'm feeling silly tonight or whatever. But
Silly goose.
so silly. Silly Willie.
I think it has to do with puppy love, I think.
You think?
Yeah. One of
it-
the things we were commenting was they were saying that you and Sporting Wood said that you and her act like y'all are just in high school, where she comes out to ride with you to California.
Yeah, she wants to hang out with me. I'm awesome.
You would take it there.
Well, I mean, that's probably what she thinks.
Yeah.
I'm actually.
No, you.
That's why she came out. She loves to hang out with me. She loves me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So funny. Wow. What a teardown, Scotty. You got me there.
Well, just you bragging about yourself is what I was talking about.
That's true.
That might be one of the things I should change.
Dude, what's funny is he's
couldn't even be grateful for.
He'll brag on himself, but he won't take a compliment.
It's more me just being
like we were at Steve's this
dumb.
weekend. I was like, dude, you have this track down. Like you were if you could ride as good here, as good as you do here, other places, you'd be like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like I'm just riding normal.
Because
it's like, just take the compliment.
when I make a joke, like I brag on myself, I don't really believe it. I'm just being silly.
Yeah.
No, he believes it.
No, I don't.
He absolutely
does.
He does.
He wakes up in the
I
morning.
want to thank Jess Stanton and Dakoda Devore, and I want to thank Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA for presenting the show. I want to thank Guts Racing, FXR, X-Brand, ProX, EVS Protection, Evans Coolant, Blood Lubricants, Barnett Clutches. Anything else, guys, before we go?
Sports podium pick was Chiz Bam J Coop.
Chiz.
Oh, the Chiz is doing the outdoors. Is
Okay, that's our listeners. There will be a show next
we were
week.
on your side until now.
There will be a show next week. I'll be in California, so it'll be from the Vital MX Studios. ML, I think Jeff Walker is going to be in studio with us. We don't have our guest.
Lewis?
No, we're going to give Lewis a break because Lewis does a lot of pods and doesn't. Yeah, Lewis would probably rather do something else than come do this show.
Can't believe that.
He already does a show with ML, so yeah, we'll give him a break. We're trying to get some different people like Jeff Walker.
Would
I
be
think Jeremy Schism, who owns AEO, might come in after Fox. No, after Hangtown. Might.
How long are you going to be out there?
2.5 weeks. Because I got the Paula this weekend, Fox, whatever you want to call it. Then I'm racing at Fox for the regional. Then I will be
next weekend.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I will be out there for Hangtown or Lakewood. I don't think I'm going to Lakewood. I'll just be out there doing pulp that Monday night and then driving home. So no show that week after Lakewood.
So how many weeks before we have a show here?
3.
Like 3 full weeks.
All right. Maybe in the next one we have here, I should be home for.
Okay, cool. Other than that, guys, we're out. I think that's it. So, yeah, see you next week.